There's some signals. There's some charts. There's some scariness, but there's also some awesomeness in these charts. We have to talk about it. We're coming live from Singapore. Me and the dank man himself, Mr. Crypto Danks. We were hanging out earlier with Coin Bureau, Crypto Lark, Altcoin Daily Brothers, Cryptos R Us, everybody. But we have to talk about what happened today. We're going to be diving into this in about 2.7 minutes. So every single person, as you are tuned in here, as you're seeing what's going on, share this with your friends, share this with your family. We're about to get this going. So yeah, we're going to get this going here in just a second. So I feel so bad because I've been traveling. I'm here, crypto conference. It's one of the best organized crypto conference I've ever been to. Incredible people, incredible information, incredible alpha. But I'm seeing what's going on, and we just decided to pop in here. It's 6:53 in the morning here in Singapore, which means it's 6:53 p.m. back home. But we're about to hop in this. Papa Guth says, seems to be a nothing burger, and here's the deal. It is, and it isn't. There's a whipsaw up and down. We're about to dive into these charts. I'm just waiting for some people to pop in here. We're going live here, and I think I'm doing the math now, divisible by 7 plus 2, 2.3 minutes. This is going to happen. Everybody, we're very late. We're laughing here.
So late. Singapore, man. What an event Token 2049 is. Pretty impressed with the organization. But more importantly, FOMC, largest rate cut since 2020. And I can't wait to dive in and really chop it up. What's up, Alexandra? What's up, Papa Gooth?
Alexandra G, by the way, is the #1 most preeminent, impactful mod in the entire crypto ecosystem. She is amazing. Black Ice here in the house.
Papa Gooth, how's the
Ryan Oligny? It's been a minute, my friend. Let's do it. You guys want to get this going? Everybody, drop a 1 in chat if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, drop the Pythagorean theorem of 7, and we're gonna get going. We got 6:20. You know, screw this. Let's get it going. Let's go. So we are legit in a hotel room. You all know, I wanted to do live streams. I told you before I came here this week, I was going to live stream on my regular time, but it's the opposite time frame. So 11:30 a.m. back home is 11:30 p.m. here, and it's right in the middle of all of our events. But also, the Wi-Fi is so terrible here. Crypto Danks.
Yo.
You brought your own.
Well, no, I actually asked I actually asked the front desk. They gave me that.
They gave you that?
They didn't.
That router?
They let us use it. Yeah.
Oh shit! Well, he got a router for us to use. So we're here. Okay, I'm looking. I'm trying to. But you can see.
Put a 5 in the chat if you guys can see the stream just fine. We're all good. 5 in the chat.
Yeah, everybody let us know because this is terrible connectivity.
On our end, it looks bad. So.
If it's drop a 5.2 in the chat if it's a 3 or better rating, because we got to look at some charts. We got to talk about some of the stuff going on with FOMC, and we just want to make sure it's all good for everybody. Let me move this. Exit. Where is? So this is our sponsor this evening. This is a sponsor this evening.
We got a 5.2.
Yo, Matthew Highland, dude, hop in here with us. Join us.
Highland.
My guy. See, to me, I forgot. This is very late to us. I forgot. It's just regular time for everybody else. But Matt, if you want to hop in here, you can. You're more than welcome to. Let's do it. 5.2. That means good enough. Hey, crypto anonymous. Let's do this. So let's. You guys don't understand. This is such a bizarre setup because I do not have. I have to move this here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, he's gonna hop in, Matt.
We're gonna bring Matthew Highland in here in just a second. You guys don't understand. This is multiple weird setups.
We have a light on the bed on top of a helmet. We're keeping it real. You know what? Because this is what we were talking about. We were talking about why does it have to be 100% super professional all the time? Let's just be ourselves. Come on, talk to you all because we know that you love the content. We're here together. How often is it? So we've just been doing it, hanging out all over Token for 2020.
What were we doing before we left the conference? We came back here.
Oh man,
you
then
and
we
I both dropped some trades, and then we left.
That was perfect,
dude.
Towel short, and then just took profit at the perfect time, bro.
And FET looking good, but render looking like it wants to drop 22%.
Where is it at now?
I don't know.
Take a look.
We're gonna pull it up. We're gonna pull it up, but we're gonna bring.
We went and saw the Altcoin Daily Brothers, Lark Davis, House of Crypto. Peter, shout out to you, bro. Really nice meeting you, dude. It's been a hot minute since we've had the opportunity to talk. I mean, everybody was at the after parties. It
was ridiculous. Let me come over here. So here's the deal. So again, you guys be patient with me because I do not have my normal setup. I'm just trying to make sure I can see what the hell it is I'm sharing with you guys because I have
and also it's
Ghetto Fabulous. It's 7 a.m. here too. We've been up since last week. God damn it. Here. There we go.
Render.
Lock. All right. So this is important. It sounds like it's not important, but it is. 61.95% of the top traders in Binance are going long on Bitcoin right now. So this goes back to this idea of funding rate, whether it's leverage longs or the majority of people going long or short. People, and me included, I'll tell you right now, me included, I am excited about how bullish I think everything is. So with that being said, I look at this and I go, man, there's a lot of people going, the top traders, not just traders, the top traders, a lot of people going long right now on Binance. So this gives me a little bit of caution. So if I come over here let's come back over here, let's go to Bitcoin, let's bring it down. And this is on 15 minutes. Let's go to 8 hours because I was trading earlier. But this is that area. I shared this, I think 4 days ago, Friday last week. The price action pushing up here into this golden pocket. And look at this, coming down right into the trend signal line, comes right back up into the golden pocket, rejected again. If we cannot break through this on this go, this is telling us there's weakness in here, and this is going to test either back here to 57,491 or either further down to like 54,000. This is not a bad thing. So many people will be frustrated with this. They'll be upset. They'll be like, oh, why is it not breaking up? Why is it not? Stop having a bias. Allow yourself to realize this market's going to do everything it can to wreck your sentiment.
And everything that the opposite of what anybody really thinks. I mean, I really did believe that we're going to have this little short-term pump, but I think until we actually get a full-blown liquidity injection from the Fed, we're probably going to, I think we're just going to fall off here. I don't know if this is going to last. I mean, we were already at this price yesterday, right? So back up again after this bullish news, right? You would expect technically, like if you weren't in the know, right? If you weren't here watching, BitLab Academy or anybody of substance regularly, you wouldn't know that this is something that would actually be bearish. Most people would just say, oh, we're going to go out, rate cuts, this and that, blah, 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 50. From, I think it was like 5 or something percent, all the way down to a 0.25%. And the market tanked. S&P 500, like 37%. Crypto, similar, maybe even more. But after we see a rate cut, it takes either weeks or months, and it could be after November, which is the next FOMC meeting. If they do another rate cut, potentially maybe a quarter, 25 basis points, then we could see a liquidity injection. If you look back and look at the interest rate cut versus liquidity injection for the Fed, they cut rates and then they inject liquidity into the market. And Bitcoin and crypto follows the liquidity. If you look at the M2 global supply, which is the top 21 banks globally, which is about $107 trillion worldwide right now, it Bitcoin follows. You have to just type in Bitcoin M2 global supply and find a chart, and you'll see it. I mean, I would pull it up here, but
no, we got our boy, Mr. Matthew Highland. So again, there's going to be, this is nothing. So everybody's tuned in right now. Nothing about this is produced. This is 7 a.m. here in Singapore. We've been.
And if I misspoke on something, maybe it's, I don't know.
No, you're fired. If you misspoke, you're fired.
I'm already.
No, we're bringing our boy, Mr. Matthew Highland in. There's going to be wrong name deals here. It's okay. I just have to assign the role. Boom. Matt, how you doing, brother?
Oh, Kelly.
Yo, what's up, Matt?
Oh, there's like a delay.
Dude, we're in Singapore, bro.
Yeah, I'm like looking at myself, but it's delayed by like a few seconds. But am I coming across pretty good, or?
That's how I feel every time I see you. I'm like, this guy is on a delay.
Wow, bro.
I'm just teasing.
Oh, man.
Dude.
That's harsh, man.
No, dude, I love you, dude. You always have the best charts. So break it down for us.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys, and I agree with what he was saying about the M2 money supply. Yeah, if you look at like the M2 money supply overall, as it's gone up historically, so has Bitcoin and so has the stock market. Like essentially, the markets tend to like just follow. I could probably overlay this right now. Let me see if I can find the M2 money supply.
Well, we got this. We got the global liquidity, which is different but similar in the fact that this always front runs the uptrend in Bitcoin. But take it over to the M2 money supply because it's more direct.
Yeah, so TradingView always, let me go to something else. I'm trying to find the right one. I have like these charts. I just don't want to lose all this stuff. Okay, I'm going to delete that. All right. So I have the M2 money supply. Let me go to the weekly time.
Do you have multiple? There it is. It didn't. There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to like, this one's not that great. So if you look like back here, this is when the M2 money supply started to surge back in 2020. And that's also when Bitcoin essentially found its bottom in March of 2020 right here. And then it surged upward. You could see like the M2 money supply started to slow down. It ended up topping shortly after, within a few months, 2 months after Bitcoin topped. And then it went down for a year. And then it bottomed.
Wait. Can you update your, I think we are looking at two different charts.
Wait, what? Something's off.
I'm looking at 2023 with the M2 dropping.
Yeah,
and then
I can see that on the screen. Hold on, let me try to reset the screen. I'm gonna reset the screen.
No, this is a whole different one. Share it, baby.
I had it on the right screen.
It's all good.
Try that one. It must not be with the. It's sharing now, I think.
Well, I've assigned it to 4. Matthew's screen. As that's loading, I still don't see it.
Interesting. It says stop sharing. I still have it up. It must be like the delay from you guys being halfway across the world.
Share it again.
Yep. I mean, it's better than just the hotel.
There you go.
Anything?
I think it's trying. It's doing its best. I did my best.
Yeah, I think it's got to be because of the distance. Let me move this over. How's Singapore though? Is it fun?
Dude, it's been great. The best organized conference I've ever been to. Not even for crypto, for any professional thing I've ever been. It is incredible.
It looked like a lot of people. It looked like a lot of people were there.
Dude, Quentin's here, Crypto Burb, Michael Vanderpoop, me, Altcoin Daily Brother, Crypto, everybody's here. Everybody, we all conspire. We're like, thank God Matthew Hyland's not here, because he would have really wrecked this whole goddamn. But no,
actually, I did. I don't even. And nice to meet you informally, Matt. But I did
Yeah.
ask him. I was like, "Is Matt coming, or the other homies, Kevin?"
no, it's been a really great, and everybody, it doesn't matter, U.S. or not, everybody's talking about the FOMC meeting, the rate cut. So how
Yeah.
about this? Give us your thoughts on the rate cut. What do you feel like it means for what's happening with the markets? Does it give one way or another? And the reason I ask that is because you're one person out of everybody. Everybody says rate cuts happen, market's going to crash. And you're one of the only people that actually looks at the data and goes, oh, well, there's actually a 50-50 shot. Talk about this. How do you feel like the rate cuts really impact what's going on with the economy?
Yeah, I mean, if you look back, if I could show you guys the chart, I would.
You are not
In
James
between,
Heckman, but you're good. Sorry.
in between 1984 and 2014, there was 5 instances where we saw rate cuts. And 3 out of the 5 times that we saw the rate cuts, the market continued to rally up during the rate cut process. So the idea that if we see rate cuts, the market has to crash, it's just not true. Like, factually not true. You can easily disprove it. I think it's just more of a recency bias, because if you look back at 2000, when we saw the rate cuts, then the market rolled over. Then if you look at 2008, when we saw the rate cuts, then the market rolled over. But if you go back to the 80s, you go back to the 90s, it wasn't such the case. So it's, in my opinion, if you like overall, just over the last 40 years, it's basically 50-50. Because then if you look at 2020, there was rate cuts starting in 2019. Then we had that pullback in March of 2020. So it's about 3 out of the last 6 times it's pulled back during the rate cuts. So it's a coin flip. So in my opinion, if you look at that from that standpoint, something that's 50-50 is just not. That's just as a data point, the probability doesn't change, in my opinion, of anything. Like, I would almost view it as not. I'm not saying it's a non-factor, but if something's 50-50, then it's not, one way or the other. I think you have to look at the other market variables surrounding the rate cuts. And there was reasons for the rate cuts in 2000. There was reasons for the rate cuts in 2008. And then in 2019, there was reasons for that too. If you recall the overnight repo, they had to add liquidity to that. It was around, I think, September of 2019. So about 5 years ago, we saw those rate cuts. And then it just so happened that in March of 2020, we rolled over at that point. So it might not have happened if not for the whole pandemic, but it did. So I will count that. But overall, I would say it's not very, there's not enough data to support the idea that it has to crash afterwards.
Yeah, I want to ask Matt a question. Matt, do you think that it matters if it's 50 basis points or 25 basis points? Would that play any significant difference in whether do you believe the market would drop or not? Does that weigh the 50-50 to you? Because I did hear some people, and I saw it on X, 25, we're pumping, 50, we're dumping. So what do you think about that? I'm curious.
It's really like hard to say, because I do get both sides, because the people that are saying that the 50 basis point cut, which will lead to more money supply, more liquidity, is actually more bearish, because that might mean that they think that there's more problems.
So it's like something's
sooner.
broken.
Yeah, it would mean that, like, that's what they're saying. Like, if there was like a 75-point basis cut or a full 1 point, it would probably have meant that they foresee something coming down the line. But I would say with the 50 basis point one, I think it's relatively neutral. And I'm not sure. I wonder. I don't know how like they ultimately determine it, because I know heading into it for a while it was supposed to be, especially with the betting odds, which are usually correct, and I think they end up getting this one correct. It was 25 basis points heading in, but then over the past week or so, I think it shifted to 50 basis points, especially last night. I think it went up to like 60 or 70%. So the betting odds end up being correct. And And sometimes I don't know if the Fed looks at like the betting odds as some sort of factor as well, but they don't want to disrupt the market too much. So if the expectation is a 50 basis point um, cut, then they have more leeway to just do that because it means that more than likely it's already been kind of factored in and priced in. I don't think they want to do too much where they catch the whole market off sides or off guard. They're not trying to do that, but they're also trying to bring the rates down. But I think overall, just in general, regardless of the rate cuts, I think over the next month or so, if you look back historically for Bitcoin, this time period of heading into the election has proven both in 2012, 2016, and 2020 to follow a very similar trajectory in which Bitcoin kind of slowly goes up heading into the election. It usually finds its bottom in August. I've gone over this with Kelly a few times on his show. Every single time, 2012, 2016, 2020, we bottomed in August. And then even last year as well, we saw the bottom in August, and then we moved up heading into the election. So to me, it's just regardless of what happens of like the chop today and whatnot, maybe it might chop for the rest of the week. I still think we're kind of on that same trajectory as we were in the past as we head into the election. And I think the adding additional liquidity won't hurt for sure.
Well, then let me ask you, like, one of those things within that is that this has been we forget this has been a multi-year process of rate hikes. We just got to the point now with the rate cut. And there's a part, I think, of a lot of people that are like, okay, now it's good. It's all systems go. So I think there's a speculation charge in both directions about this being potentially bearish and also potentially super bullish. So when you're looking at the charts, if you take, because you're one of the best people at this, we have so much context of news and all this other stuff that we throw into trying to figure out what's going on. When you're just looking at the chart, let's take the rate cuts out, the rate hikes, the rate cut. Fuck it. Let's look at the chart. Yeah. How do you feel like the chart looks like right now on the 3-day chart going into the end of this September into October? Despite any rate cut or anything, how does just a price action look in terms of strength or weakness?
In my opinion, right? Okay. Were we able to get this up?
Yeah, I got you up.
All right, there we go. It just updated. I switched it to this one. I wasn't sure if it's a little bit laggy on my side, but so for Bitcoin, really the goal for the bulls at this point is to break 65K. We've essentially been putting in lower. Let me get rid of the M2. We've essentially been putting in lower highs since March, which I'll mark out right here. This is a lower high. This was a lower high. Lower high, lower high, and then this last lower high at 65K. And then if you look on the other side, we've been putting in lower lows to the downside, lower lows, lower low right here, lower lows. So this established a downtrend. Once when you start having lower highs and lower lows for a substantial amount of time, especially on a 3-day time frame or weekly time frame, that means we're in a downtrend. So in order to break out of this, we need to make a higher high, which literally is just getting a close above 65K. If we get a close above 65K, then we know that, hey, maybe down here this was the first higher low. We can't confirm this yet because Bitcoin could essentially still roll over and go below this 49K level potentially. Therefore, this low can't be confirmed as a higher low. But once when we put in that higher high, then we know, look, we have a higher low, a higher high, and then you could say the trend is now changing. This would be the first sign that this trend is changing. We saw something like this where we got up to maybe like 68K or something, and then pull back and then put in another higher low. And then if we had something like that happen, right? Now we know that this trend has changed. And in my opinion, you have to, at that point, really change your just outlook and bias and everything. And I know a lot of people are they're optimistic long term, but over the last few weeks and months, obviously, there's a lot of pessimism. There's a lot of fear. A lot of people actually have given up. A lot of people have left the market. Interest has been dying down. But this would be the first sign where I would say, okay, we're getting a trend change. this is really the time to lock in. If you see Bitcoin above 65K, absolutely like focused, laser focused at that point, because this might end up being, you know, the start of uh something major over the next few months or year, and you'd want to enter at the bottom, essentially, like right here. This would be ideal if we're about to start a major run.
I mean, that couldn't be more spot on, you know. And I was looking earlier at some of the charts. We were doing some trading before we went out, and render looked like it was about to break down. And I thought that was interesting because FET looked like it was about to. You've been calling FET for the last month plus here on the channel. FET still looks strong, where render looks like it's about to break down. But then you also have BitTensor, which is kind of in a bit of a range. But when we're looking at this, everybody wants to know. We're looking at Bitcoin, and like the alts have felt like they were about to break out on the others chart or the total 3 chart for 3 months, or is it just lies that some of these accounts are sharing? Like, what do you see with the strength in the altcoin market for? Because I feel like this is different from the previous cycles, because I see some stuff showing strength and other stuff showing absolute weakness.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a group of altcoins that are actually showing a lot of strength against Bitcoin. I posted some of them actually on my Twitter recently. I've been sharing them with Patreon. Some of them I've shared on your show, actually, like FET, for example. So if we look at FET, just looks like a massive inverse head and shoulders. And there's a clear neckline right here around the $1.50, $1.47 area. So usually this is what you would see at a bottom after a downtrend. You'd see an inverse head and shoulders. This is a reversal pattern. So FET is really set up, but not every coin has a setup. Most of them don't. Most of them have kind of just been, they bottomed and they've kind of chopped near their range lows. They haven't really been seeing too much. Let me see if I can find an example of something that's doing something like that. Like if we go to, let me see, like Cardano. So Cardano is an example, right? If you look, like FET had that whole bottoming pattern, but Cardano is kind of just, you know, close to these lows where it has been at over the past few months. So some alts have a different look, and I think if you go to others, let me go to others right now.
Matic also, I cannot believe how weak Matic is, or Paul. Sorry, it's changed now. Paul, I cannot believe how weak that coin is, and this re-emphasizes how important it is, how cool, no matter how cool you think a project or coin is, sometimes things divert from the narrative of it being amazing. Great partnership, like but it's not doing anything.
Yeah, and I feel like this cycle so far has been a little bit different, and maybe we'll get back on track, but it seems like usually in the past you could just kind of throw your money at almost anything. And it generally had done pretty well, but I'd say there's a lot of coins that haven't really done too much. Obviously, this pullback over the last 6 months has pulled back a lot of things, and maybe we actually just got ahead, and this cycle is now basically on track to where it was kind of in 2020, at the end of 2020, because that's essentially when the crypto bull run really started, especially for the alts. So perhaps everything we've seen so far has just been kind of just an outlier for the price action. I think perhaps that, like, especially if you look at Ethereum as well, but even if you look at others is essentially close to this low right here, and this is generally what most alts look like, where they came down. This could be a double bottom. So if this others chart ever broke through this area right here around 226 billion, it's currently at 196 billion. I think a lot of alts will then fly. I think at that point, this would be a double bottom. This would be also a higher high for the others chart. And then I do think at that point, alts are going to see a pretty sizable push if this area is cleared. But if we go to Ethereum, right? Ethereum.
Wait, I'm gonna pause you. I want to sidetrack you. I'm gonna sidetrack you.
Yep.
I wanted to check.
Wait, hold on a second. I can't read this because it's so small. Paper Planes 210X says RIP. It says RIP Matic. Now it's Paul. But look at the Matic chart, the Paul chart. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's just going into a a capitulation style accumulation range that's just chopping people out and then it's going to run? Or do you feel like it's RIP Matic?
This chart is kind of rough. Let me go to the weekly time frame, because if you look at this objectively,
Hold on.
right,
You're the Matic.
it's not updating for some reason. That's weird.
Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. It still shows the total. There we go. Yeah, that looks weak as hell. But you know what? That looks for me. That looks primed for an opportunity. If you're looking for blood rather than greed. Everybody wants to buy greed. This looks like, hey man, this has, just like Chainlink, this has more partnerships than any other crypto other than Chainlink, and it's looking weak as fuck, which to me says, hey, this might be a good opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think I would at least think that this would come back to these highs at some point in the cycle, minimum. Maybe it'll get above this, but even if it got just back to these highs, it would be almost a 10x gain or 9x gain from here. I think it could also just be that a lot of this stuff is just early. If you look back even last cycle at Cardano, for example, this is where Bitcoin was. So when Bitcoin broke all-time highs, Cardano was only 15 cents at that time, and
hold on, wait 1 second. We're waiting on the chart to load. It still shows Polygon. Everybody, just so you all know, I'm streaming from Singapore, tuning in with Matt, who's the best analyst in the space, and he's being patient. But we're letting the. You know what? You're right. You're not. No, I'm just joking. No.
I wanted to say something to Matt's point. You know, the all tides rise altcoin dealio like it has in the past. I think that the market is just so flooded with so many altcoins. I mean, I think 1.7 million or 2 million tokens minted just in the last 8 months or something like that. So I think that time might be past where everything just pumps like in a bull run. I don't foresee that happening necessarily, because you have to think there's so much liquidity that's been spread and taken from a lot of people in general that would have initially pumped the market or eventually pumped the market in that all tides rise situation. But so many, I hate to say it, so many scams, these pump fund tokens, and then you got Tron, Sun meme, whatever, so that has really contributed to a potential that it's not going to give us what we had in the past. You could literally throw a dart at the board and make bank, at the right time.
So I'm going to respond to that first, and I want to throw it to you next, Matt. Okay. But my thought on this is, I'm not giving you pushback because you're laying in bed with me. No. My thought on that is this. I think that's I mean this politely. I think that's a convenient narrative that a lot of us want to feel, that usually the idea is this time is different is bullish. I think there's a bearishness to this time is different. The bearish idea of it all. But I still think that the majority, I think Near, Avalanche, Polkadot, Cardano, Matic, Ethereum, Solana, I think it's still a good portion of these coins that are the top 30, top 50. It's not that it's so diluted because there's so many. It's that it's a great proxy to show everybody that's in the market now. We're not, we're waiting on other liquidity come. It's not, it can't happen anymore because there's 1.7 million.
What's up, big dog?
Yeah, JC, what's up, doggy? Super chat says from JC MF Danks in MF Lock, motherfucking Lock. You know what? It's 7 a.m. in Singapore, so it's let's just read it out. Super chat $1.99 from JC motherfucking Danks in the motherfucking Lock. So that's what's going on. But what do you say to that, Matt, in terms of this idea that there is a fear that this time is different? Everybody always talks about it bullishly or bearishly. I think that this idea that, oh, there's all this, I think all of it's noise. I think the majority of that noise is not going to be relevant in 4 months. The liquidity is still going to
I
come to
actually
these top.
I actually agree with him. Essentially under
Hey, well,
the
fuck you.
current
Hey, I'm
no
cutting you
no no
off. You're done. Bye. No. I'm just joking. I'm joking. So talk to us.
So I actually agree with what he said under the current circumstances that we're under, where the SEC has sued nearly every crypto coin and every crypto company and whatnot. But I do think, like you said, with the liquidity, I think if we see the SEC get overhauled and all these lawsuits get dropped, uh, I think the amount of liquidity that would flow in would completely, well, not, I wouldn't say completely, it would help offset the dilution of coins. There's certainly way more coins this cycle than compared to the prior cycle. And obviously, the last one had even more than the one before it. So the returns won't be as insane as last cycle. But I also think that we could still see something pretty close. It just depends on if we see the liquidity flow in and the ramps get opened up. But unfortunately, right now with the SEC's stranglehold on this whole industry, it's just not attractive for the venture capitalists. Usually, that's the money that we're going to need to see get into this space. Because we saw it even last cycle. Once when the VCs started entering, they were just flinging money at nearly anything and everything. We saw it flung at Cardano. We saw it flung at Matic. We saw it flung at Solana. It's almost, they just start throwing darts across the board, but they're not doing that right now because it's too risky of a space to invest in, just because if you invest into something and then the next day the SEC decides to file a lawsuit against that coin or token, it's, that's not something you want to invest in. Or the money where they could throw it in now already has a lawsuit against it. There's lawsuits obviously against so many coins like Matic, Cardano, even the ones that have performed well like Solana and BNB, they have lawsuits against them. And I would say that for the most part, like Solana kind of saw its rise because of retail, but I think retail can only push the market so much now, just because the market cap is much larger than it was years ago. So now we need the VC money to push the market cap up across the entire crypto space. But until the SEC just changes its stance or gets fired, it's something we won't be able to expect at this point. But that could obviously change over the next month or so. We'll see what happens. But it's unfortunately kind of holding the space back right now, at least.
Well, so here's the deal. I was on a call earlier with, by the way, my man here, Crypto Danks. A lot of you may or may not. I've had him on the channel regularly recently. The funny thing is, and I mean this. And Matt, I think you'll echo this. There's a difference between somebody that has deep knowledge and somebody that has 180,000 followers. I've met more people that have deep knowledge that have 3,000 followers, 1,000 followers, less than 200 followers, under 5,000. We have this weird idea in our mind that when somebody has 180,000 followers, or here's a great example, and I'm not calling this person out, but I'm just using this as a juxtaposition. Crypto Capo. He's been in the market, I think, longer than I have, and I've been in the market 9 years, 10 years. But Crypto Capo has this huge following, and he was bearish all the way to 60, all the way to 64, all the way to 74. And then once it started going down, he was right, but he was wrong for $65,000 of that move. And the reason I say that is this guy right here, I make money trading. This guy has a significantly smaller following than I do, significantly smaller following than Matthew Hyland does, but he's tuned in. He makes money trading. And I was on a call earlier with one of his close friends. I'm not going to say the name. He's a whale, and he trades 50 to 150 to 300,000 to $1 million to $3 million a trade. And this guy had this is spot. This is before leverage. He has a deep understanding of this market. And the reason I say that is we need to let go of this idea. Oh, fuck, this guy's got 130,000. He knows it. Or Kelly, he's got 60,000 on YouTube and he's got 25,000 on Twitter.
For example, today, dude from Coin Bureau, he was saying that he needs to get better. He wants to. They did a panel with Altcoin Daily Brothers, Peter from House of Crypto, Lark David. His name's like
Crypto Lark.
And Coin Bureau guy, founder, and he was like, they asked, what do you want to do better in the future? And
let me preface. They said, if you could let go of one tendency that's wrecked you or that hurt you in the past, what would it be? If you could lean into something that's benefited you, what would it be? And if you could grow into something, what would it be? It was such a wonderful context of all of it. And everybody gave great answers.
And it leans right into what you're saying. I mean, think about Coin Bureau founder. And he comes out and he says, honestly, I really want to get better at technical analysis. Like, I need to get better at it so I can, understand the market in its full capacity. And that's respect. I mean, he said that in a room full of OGs where he is the top OG, right? Or some would say, or some would.
Well, on a number basis, yeah, 2.6 million followers on YouTube. And he had the humility to say, I don't know. I want to grow into knowing more.
Or maybe like, I don't know as I probably should or as I want to, right?
Yeah.
And that goes to show, like you said, not everybody who has hundreds of thousands or even millions and runs business in crypto understands what you might think they understand. So following somebody just because of the numbers they put up doesn't necessarily mean that they understand everything.
And that's such a good point. Even like the one of the things that I took away from that, I was thinking about as they asked the question was, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, Matt, but even looking like, for instance, Solana, everybody wants Solana to hold on a bullish bias. You want it to hold 130 level, maybe coming down to here. This is what, 107 within this range. But the funny thing is we look at percentages and we're like, that's not possible. But we see this, and I see Solana, and I think it's a great project. But if Solana comes down to 107, if it loses this area, which is not only these tops, which I have outlined here, I can even make it a little wider just so you can see it. This range here, if it drops down into this and loses this doesn't look far off, right? But if you do a percentage basis, people go, no, there's no way. There's no way Solana is going to go to $80. Well, there's a clear way. Why? Because you look at the structure of the market. Look at this. Impulse, weak. Smaller impulse with a fake out. This shows to me, without the percentage basis, without bias, this is and I've had this drawn for, I don't even know, 2 months, $76 to $90 somewhere. And this is also not only that's a structural basis. That's also the golden pocket from the low back here in September 2023 to the high. Golden pocket is right here. That's the lower bound of this golden pocket, which also shows this level here. So I think what we do also, and Matt, you're so good at trading. You're so good at outlining stuff. All of us, I think, sometimes, even BitTensor is another good one. Let me pull up BitTensor. We look at this. We go, oh my God, this is such a nice range it's trading in. But look at this. Up, back down, back up into the zone, back down into the zone. If this comes back down, this goes from 330, roughly where we're at now, back to this range. That's 223. If it loses the zone, 164, maybe below. I think all of us as traders, we get married to, without knowing it, we get married to, I like this coin, it has good fundamentals. there's no way it's going to drop another 40%. And I say, no, it absolutely could. Let's be prepared for it. And if you really like the coin, take advantage of that drop, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, I would definitely agree, and I kind of share your kind of view on Solana. I look, like I was actually one of the few people a year ago. You obviously remember back in September and October of last year when it was below $20. I was one of the few people saying, I'm buying Solana down here. Um, but I don't know. This to me, this kind of does look like a descending triangle. Uh, and like you said, these impulses are getting weaker. And I don't know what's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if Solana did come down here to this lower range and then continued up. I just the sentiment, and I'm not sure if you've seen the same thing that I have with Solana. The sentiment on Solana reached like real extremes, in my opinion. I saw people basically saying that they're selling their entire account into Solana. They're selling all their assets, selling all their Bitcoin, selling everything into Solana. And these were like larger accounts, and to me, like if something reaches that point, especially in crypto, it really like I don't know. You just have to like question it because I don't know. I don't know how you feel, Kelly, about it, but to me, like Solana just seemed to have reached this sentiment that's just really, really extreme. And I like Solana. I was, buying it below $20, but now at $133, it's pretty much outperformed 99% of the market over the past year. Uh, it might need more time before the sentiment resets, in my opinion. But I'm not entirely sure. I could be completely wrong, and this could be the bottom. It can continue up, but I think there's, like in my opinion, there's better opportunities out there, potentially over the coming months. Not sure if you.
My homeboy, really close homie of mine that we were talking to earlier, we were actually doing some trades together in between token 2049. I think we all pretty much agreed that there's a chance we could see under $100 Solana sometime in the near future. I don't know if you share the same sentiment. It sounds like maybe you might be in the
But
ballpark of that, but
yeah, around like $90 or
I think it's
$85,
about
and then I
$80, $85.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think it would. I think once when it reaches that, it'd probably reverse and then continue up. I just think that all these people that sold everything into Solana publicly, like there's multiple large accounts with 100K plus, basically saying I'm selling everything I have, every coin I have into Solana. It seems like just super extreme. But I think once when people like that have sold everything into Solana see everything else going up and Solana's not, then I think they'll end up selling and then it'll mark a bottom and then Solana will continue up. And I think Solana could probably get to $400, $500 for a cycle top, which is still a pretty good return from here. If you bought below $100, am I still there?
Yeah, you chopped up a little bit because you're dropping
Okay.
too much
But-
alpha.
and the And then the other thing too is if you look at the Solana, and usually I don't look at supply too much, but if you look, let me see if I can pull this up. Solana supply. Uh, I was looking at it earlier. The supply of Solana is up 60% since 2021 tops. So over the last 3 years, the Solana supply has gone up 60%, which is pretty. It's pretty significant. I mean, let me see if I could just load this up here. See if it switches.
There you go.
Okay, so the supply of Solana, if you go back to let's say November of 2021, was around 300 million. Currently, it's at 468 million. So that's a pretty sizable increase. And over the next year, this is going to continue to increase. I don't have the math on the top of my head, but I would say at this rate, it's going to increase at least like another 60 or 70 million, 80 million Solana over the next year. The market cap of Solana actually reached its 2021 highs earlier this year, but the price was a lot lower. But the market cap I think it actually broke to new highs, but that's because the supply was a lot much more larger. Uh, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and bag on Solana either. I think it'll end up going up overall, but I do think that there's probably better opportunities out there in the market.
Here's the deal. The funny thing is, neither one of us are debating that Solana is still going to perform great
Yeah.
this cycle. But uh, taking it back to what Danks was bringing up earlier, we're at this Swissborg event. It was called Mastermind, and it was uh, Miles Deutscher, Lady of Crypto, uh, Coin Bureau, Altcoin Daily Brothers, Quentin Francois, Michael Van de Poel. It was like the who's who of uh, amazing Alex from Swissborg. Like people just had really, really good thoughts that have been in cycles and through all this. And I think I really do, myself included. I think we get so lost in this idea of the 4-year cycle, and it's going to pump soon, that we forget within that the forest for the trees. We forget that Solana, I think, is a great project, but to me, people need to realize going from 130 to 78, 130 to 90, that has no relevance on the quality of the project. People get so focused on the price action of an asset because they want it to go up. They go, "Oh, it's dead." Or earlier, somebody wrote "R.I.P. Matic." No, Matic still is an incredible layer 2 solution. It still has some of the biggest partnerships in this space. Does that mean it's going to? The price action of that coin does not mean it's good or bad because it's struggling to make you happy in this moment.
How many times have we seen Bitcoin just absolutely get destroyed on the market, on the price chart? And then, it's the most valuable, some would argue the most valuable asset on the planet. You know what I mean? So definitely price action. And also Matic is on Bloomberg's ticker, so there's a reason for that. There's also a reason for particular cryptos that are in trusts in, these institutional investment companies because, they're seen as high quality, respectable, and, not like gonna destroy and tear apart and rug and all that. They obviously anything could happen, right? But at the end of the day, Solana is really, really pushing the envelope as far as changing the game. They've got, I don't know if anyone out there has heard, they've got now, I don't know if they've incorporated it or it's coming soon, actions, blinks, and ZK compression. And ZK compression especially is unique because it's a layer 1 solution, as where ZK rollups are a layer 2 solution. So they're actually packing everything and the data on chain instead of ZK rollups. They do everything off chain and then bring it back, the data on chain, I believe. So actions and blinks, you can literally make a transaction through just a post on X or like a tweet or however. So that's something unique. And I think that Ethereum and Solana, there was this AMA that I hosted on CoinW's page on X. And they were saying, is Solana the Ethereum killer? I think there's a world where both can exist. They do things differently, but they also have two great foundational ecosystems with a lot of room to grow. And we have to realize that crypto is still in its infancy stage, right? It's like, imagine we're so early. We're in crypto now. We're so early. That's all I have to say.
And here we are, Matt, you and I.
I don't know where that rant.
No, I mean it's a good rant because it's not a rant. It's just a truth serum. We get so still. Even Matt, you and I, we talk every time we talk. We bring up price action, and even though I bring it up to the audience, price is only a data point. You have to use that in conjunction with all the other data points you're looking at if you're trading it. But if you believe in these projects, whether it's Tau, Ethereum, Solana, Matic, Avalanche, Near, it doesn't matter.
It's been hacked twice, and it's still pushing like big numbers, billions in market cap now.
Yeah, but like for instance, Near. Here's a good thing with Near. I know the Near team personally. One of the main devs, one of the main ecosystem builders. I've spent time with at 3 different conferences, and one of the things I brought up was this talking point, and I thought it. I legitimately thought it. Joshua Jake says it, and I've had to kind of sculpt him away from this, but it's not wrong. It's just we don't know what we don't know sometimes. Near started as an AI protocol that got kind of wrapped up in another narrative with this whole smart contract. It's different than Ethereum, but it's the same. No, it legit. It's not just like, hey, we're doing some AI. They are legit building in an AI ecosystem with incredible DeFi protocols, with incredible so many things that they're not even released to the public yet that people are aware of. I'm just privy to it because I talk with the team, and it's like we get lost in the price action and the hope narrative of what we heard last cycle, and we say this is still true, and it's not the case. And it's not just near. Look, see, Matt left. He's like, he doesn't even get. No, I'm just teasing. The point here is there's so much going on in these, whether it's near Bitcoin layer 2, Ordi swap, Avalanche, Constellation DAG, Polkadot, Atom, Aave, that if it's not pumping now, we have this thought that says it's no longer as good. And that's the pumpage of a token more times than not has little to nothing to do with the value of that ecosystem.
Yeah, I would agree. Sometimes it's just the momentum shifts, the narratives kind of switch around, and there's like phases and stuff where I remember last cycle too, we saw like Solana have like, there was Solana, cycle, then there was Cardano, then there's BNB when BNB was popular. And it usually just kind of rotates around in these crypto cycles historically. If you wanted to show my chart again, I was going to show you WIF and Bonk. This just goes back to Solana. So these are like the two top meme coins. It is interesting that they're not seeing much.
Can I pause you first? Can I pause you for a second? And the only reason I want to pause you is I heard something recently that I've never looked at. So we're going to look at this together live if you're okay with it. Somebody said Doge. You're looking at dog with hat. So pull up Doge. Somebody said Doge is the metric that you can follow that will give you the signal for when altcoins, fuck the others chart, total 3. You can watch the Doge chart when it breaks out on RSI and it breaks out on price action. And it will give you a good signal of when the altcoin market generally is going to do well. Have you used this Dogecoin with the plus symbol in the top left? Maybe Doge plus others or Doge plus total 3. Either one I think will work. Because I honestly, we're doing this live. I've never even pulled this up to see if that comment had veracity. The person that said it, I just have a lot of respect for. So I'm like, maybe. I don't want to. It
does look similar. You might have to refresh my chart. I do have it up, but it's a little. Is this others? It is. Right?
Yeah. By the way, Matt, can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask everybody that's tuned in live right now, whether you're on YouTube or on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, retweet the space. If you're on YouTube, what are you doing? Get over on Twitter, retweet the space. But also, I sent our boy Kevin. I said, "Motherfucker, come and join us."
I'll get him to come.
Tag his ass. Say, dude, we're talking shop, bro. You need to get in here. And I hope you guys are okay. Everybody that's tuned in, you guys have been watching the stream. Most of you that have been here, I'm very, very professional, 99.100% of the time. And I was like, you know what? We don't need to be professional. Let's have the homie vibe. Let's lay on the bed because we have such a weird setup in our hotel room. I was like, let's break this down together.
No, I'm enjoying this too. I'm enjoying this too. And I was gonna say, like, we want to do that show If the
Great.
audience likes this type of like
We're gonna
material
do
and
we're gonna
content,
do an
then
evening show.
yeah, it'll be like a more laid back type of vibe like this. I think it would be best, and we could just kind of because the thing is with crypto is there's like days where market is getting destroyed, and it's just like it's hard to come on here sometimes. But when things are going good, it's obviously easy. So but if people like the content either way, like the discussion, then I definitely we could definitely do a show like that. It's just based on your guys' feedback essentially. So I have the others crypto cap pulled up along with Doge, and it does look like last cycle around the same time when Doge started to move up, it essentially followed it. Um, it does look very similar. And even back here, like Doge started to move right here, and this is also when the others start to move as well. So Doge, let me get rid of the others and we'll look at Doge. I haven't really looked at this chart, but this looks like a clean downtrend. Um, but I would say, yeah, if that is true, then whenever this breaks out, then the others probably would too. Um, I think Doge is in the top 10 currently, correct?
Let me pull it up. I don't know actually. I know it's usually up there.
Yeah.
It
So it wouldn't be
is.
included actually in the others cap.
It's number 8.
Okay. Yeah. So that actually isn't included in the others cap, but it does seem to have a similar type of correlation, I'd say. Let me see. I'll go. I discussed it on my YouTube, not YouTube, my Twitter earlier about Sui and then Phantom. Let me
Mhm.
see if I can find them. Just give me 1 second.
By the way, everybody, while you're tuned in here, obviously we're doing the more laid back stream. Anybody that's tuned in later, I'm in Singapore at the Token 2049 event. I got Crypto Danks with me, Matthew, my brother in arms, out here, and I was trying to do daily live streams, which for me would be 11:30 is the same time I would do in Atlanta. That's basically midnight here. It just hadn't been able to work, and we were sitting here. I was like, you know what? There's nothing going on. Let's go live. We had the FOMC meeting. We had the rate cut, which means the market's going to nuke. No, that doesn't mean that. Matthew already highlighted that. But I don't want to always just be Mr. Professional. This is the most polished. Let's be homies. Let's talk charts.
Yeah, so we look at Sui, right? So Sui, I actually discussed this chart on your show a few weeks ago when I had the initial pump. I think actually it was around 90 cents at that time. Ended up going up to this area, and we had this all marked out. I'm not sure what happened, but essentially, if you look at this chart, this is breaking to new local highs today. So Sui, while there are like coins like Solana which haven't been doing as much, there are coins out there that have. And I had been discussing it privately with my own Patreons, but it was also I've seen it on Twitter as well as people posting about Sui, and now it's continuing up. And I think if you look at Phantom as well, this is another coin that we had been discussing. Same thing. It's just a clean inverse head and shoulders pattern right there, breakout, and now we're seeing it move up. And usually these inverse head and shoulders patterns tend to be the best to identify a reversal, and they're usually pretty clean. Where once you
Well,
get that
I
close
want to
above the
pause. I want to
neckline,
pause you. I want to pause you just for a moment, just because I think this is fantastic. Everybody, look at the chart on the screen right now. That's Sui, and I'm just going to switch real quick. That's FTM. Look at the similarity of this chart
I
and
actually have
Sui.
Phantom loaded up. I have
Dude,
Phantom loaded. I'm talking about,
it looks like the
yeah.
same chart.
But if you go to FET, if you look at FET basically has that same setup as well. I think you need to refresh mine for Phantom to load up. Uh,
Yours isn't popping up, but here's FET,
yeah,
and
so
we're
even if you look at FET, it's the same thing. It's inverse head and shoulders pattern, pretty clean looking. Um, and I would say for me, I would put the diagonal around or the horizontal line around 50 cents. All right, so this is Phantom. This is a very clean inverse head and shoulders pattern. Um, broke out. It could retest this neckline. Usually you'll see a retest. We'll see if it retested or not, but the breakout was around this area. But there's other coins. If you look across the like FET, for example, hasn't broken out yet. It's getting close, but it's following what Sui and Phantom have just broken out of. So just keep an eye on those coins that have that type of setup. Those are typically the I'd say the better looking ones right now, at least. So, and if we go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's getting a nice move up. It's up to around 61,500 about. So
I was gonna say back to when you were saying people are just like dumping into Solana, putting everything all in on Solana. I personally, over the last, I don't know, I would say, oh, did I mute it? Are we good? I think maybe the last year or even a little bit longer was very heavy in Caspa, like over 80%. And then now looking back, there's so many things that I could have done, and I still did very well regardless, but holding 100% of your bag, even if it's Bitcoin, even then, I still don't suggest, and this is not financial advice, do whatever you want with your money. At the end of the day, it's your money. But going all in on one coin or token, I think is just a little overkill, right? You can do so many things with those funds instead of just keeping them locked in one project, hoping or waiting or whatever it is. And then you can always buy back in if you want, So it was just something that was on my mind. And after I decided to make the shift and just take profits on Caspa and lower my percentage on holding that, which I think Caspa is a great project. Nonetheless, that has nothing to do with it. It's just the fact that I'd like to stay balanced, right? And now I feel like I can make so many more moves than just keeping and holding one project. And if we look, like Caspa itself, and not to make this about Caspa, it just happens to be what I was all in on for quite some time. It's just, it hasn't moved as much as so many other projects. If I had as much,
it front ran everything.
well, it did. And originally, yeah, originally, yes, it did. But then after such, it's kind of just been a little struggly, right? It hasn't been able to clear that 17, 18 and just keep moving. It did obviously do the 20 and a half cent or whatever it was. But, I mean, when I think about it, like how much I had made off of Tau just over the last week or two, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that if I had my funds locked all up in one project, So just some food for thought. If you are out there stuck with your bag either at a loss or just all in on one project, maybe look at some other things that you could make some money on short term or medium term, and then you can use those profits to get back into the your favorable project.
On that note, you all have seen me when I've done TA here, and I'm not the best. I've done TA. I think I'm pretty good. But one of the things, these probably don't make sense if you're like, these aren't touching anything. But you all know what I try to show, these lines are not trend lines. These green lines are, what I'm trying to show is a representation of the bullish impulse. This is strong, just up. What do we get the next one? Over. Okay. From the low to the high, it's kind of starting to lean. And then what do we get here? From this low to this high, it's leaning over. Now, I am bullish on Caspa in the long term, but this to me is a very soft target. 10 cents. People say, no, the Bitcoin miners are mining Caspa now. It's not going to happen. That actually tells me it's more likely to happen because we have this level here. This is the impulse up, sideways, way leaned over. Weakness consolidating here, hugging the bottom side of this range. This tells me this actually is a bullish target for a breakdown. If this actually breaks down, we could actually look at Caspa opportunity here at 5 cents. And we're at 17 now.
Caspians would lose their
dude, this would break people's hearts. They'd be like, it's dead. And this would actually be an incredible, and this is what I talked about earlier, where we look at price and we forget that structure is a better metric than the percentages. We're like, but how could it drop 70%? Well, forget the percentage. This is a structure. impulse up, sideways, getting weak. Now we're starting to hug the lower bound here. It cannot get up beyond the previous high. If it loses this, this is a target. I would be a buyer here, yes, but I wouldn't be 100% of my bag because this feels scary. But this ultimately would be an incredible opportunity. This is where capitulation happens that you can launch back off at. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm putting a tweet out right now, so I haven't been
Well, shut
paying
up.
as much attention. No, but I would say Caspa has done pretty well over the past year. I believe I looked at the chart recently because I had people asking about it. Definitely has done well. Like, but I agree with what you said about being all in one thing. It's very hard just because um, if it's not moving and the rest of the market is, then you kind of get antsy and you at some point typically, because I've had this experience where I wasn't 100% in something, but I had a pretty sizable position in some coins, and they weren't doing anything, and everything else was going up, and then I ended up slowly selling it off, and then once when I lost a sizable amount in the position, that's when the coin decided 4 or 5x afterwards. um, so that's usually just how the market tends to go. It
All right,
usually
I'm
punishes
all right. I'm going to
people.
pause you there. I'm going to pause you there because this is important, and I'm putting you on the spot. You don't have to answer this, but I
Yep.
think you will because you're a good dude. Social media. Social media is most people. We forget this. We know it, but we forget it. Social media is a representation of the best of series of people's lives. And we get
Yes.
frustrated. We're like, oh, my friend's going on this trip. They're doing this. We don't see the times they're crying. We don't see the times they're having troubles with their father. And the same thing. The reason I bring that up is we're looking at these charts. You've made good money in this market. You also have learned a lot from. Nobody wants to say the losses. So let me take you back for a second. Talk to me. Talk to the people here. What was your biggest loss or most painful loss? How did it happen, and what did you learn from it?
You're putting me on the spot. I mean, in general, with any sort of loss, it usually starts with when you draw a stop loss area and you don't go through with it, you don't actually set it, and then you say you're going to actually put the sell order in at such price, and then it goes down, and then you don't, and then it continues down. That usually happens to a lot of people when you don't have a plan. That's usually the case. But I do agree with you, like you said, about social media being kind of like uh, the best of everything, and you always see a lot of people that are posting their profits
Winning
and their good
trades.
trades on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found out recently a lot of the because someone sent it to me. A lot of these the leverage exchanges actually you could show your like let's say past 3 months or past 6 months performance. Yeah, no one posts that, and I'm not saying like people aren't doing good, but if you have a good 6 month performance, let's say you're up like 200, 300% over the past 6 months from trading, wouldn't you want to post that? I mean, if you're posting the short term trades. So, I mean, for most people, I would just say like what you see posting on Twitter or any social media is kind of, it's not really reality. People aren't going to post their losses. For the most part, there are some people that actually do. They'll say, yeah, I got wrecked on this trade or I got wrecked um, off of this or something. But most of the people don't. So it's just be careful, and you often think that everyone else is doing everything right and you're doing everything wrong, but that's simply just not the case. People, no matter how small or large someone's account is or net worth is, people are making mistakes all over the place, and it's just a reality. And once you realize that, and it's not a competition either. If someone else is doing good or some other coin is going up and the coin that you're in isn't, um, it's you got to deal with your emotions, and I deal with that too. Especially like if you're in something and then you see something else going up, you get the itch to sell and then move into that other thing that's going up. And more often than not, Kelly could probably confirm this too. More often than not, when I've done that, it usually didn't work out. Usually, the thing that you sold ends up going up more, and then the thing that you bought ends up not performing as well or goes down. And
Well,
I'd say it's almost like
you know what it is.
75%.
It's and I've done this. I've done this too many times. I see something running, and I'm so frustrated with the coin I'm holding. Cardano was a great point last cycle, and I had learned before this happened, but I still felt the frustration. I was like, is Cardano a fucking stable coin? And I wanted to jump out. I wanted to, all these other coins were pumping. And the second I stopped worrying about that, Cardano went on like a 22x run. Right. And I'm not saying that as like I'm not saying that as an endorsement of Cardano. I'm using Cardano as a proxy. It's the same thing that's going to happen this cycle, whether it's AI, whether it's DPIN, whether it's it doesn't matter. These coins, you have to take your shots. Meaning, I'm betting on this, and if it's a position trade, and you know what your time horizon is, and all of you, I've shared my. It's been frustrating because I'm a trader, but I also have a position. I'll share it right here. I'll share it here. Boom. I have this position altcoin portfolio that I've shared with all of you all. I've shared it in the BitLab Discord. I'll see more assets. Well, look, I'm down. Avalanche. I've been holding this since February. I'm down. What was that? 15%. So I'm down $1,700. But I've been adding to this periodically along the way. Ondo down a little bit. BitTensor up since I added. Near, I've never, since I bought it, never been down. We could actually pull this up. Let's look at it.
Shout out to the damn near 500. I think it's over 500 people across platforms.
Yeah, shout out to the 500 people tuned in across platforms. Big love to you guys. If this is your first time tuned in, I want you to know. I don't know. I was about to say this is not the normal stream. It's not. It's 8 a.m. here. I'm in Token 2049 in Singapore, and I just wanted to go live because it's important. The FOMC meeting. I couldn't go live at my normal time, but look at this. So let's go. This is 1 month. Let's go to.
Kelly, if you went live every single day at this time, it would be perfect because I'm like actually awake.
Dude, I'll go live this time with you.
I'll go live
at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. or something.
So here we go. September.
What time is it for you, or what coast are you on, Matt?
I'm Central, so it's only 7 o'clock right now. I'm in Texas.
So he's a New York boy that recently moved to Texas.
Yeah, I mean,
here, well, let me pull this up. Where is it? Boom. Let's go to Near. Where's Near at? Near. Bear with me, dude. Hold on one sec. Near. By the way, did you know I found this out here at this conference? There's too much shit that happens on a daily basis. It's hard to keep track. You know, Maker migrated over. It's now called Sky Protocol.
I did not know that. I know that they're working with BlackRock.
Yeah. So one, I think Maker is a phenomenal token. They just migrate. Let's look. Hold on. Sky Maker crypto. Sky Maker is now Sky. All right, so here we go. Boom. Maker is now okay. Yeah, they kind of named it in their name.
Sky.
If you guys can't figure that out, then you shouldn't be in crypto. That means you can't read. Sky. Yeah. So check this out.
Above 62K now.
What's that?
No, Bitcoin's above 62,000.
Is it? Boom.
Yeah.
This is the 4th FOMC this year that 4 out of 6.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna take a trade.
That we've hit.
I'm it's crazy.
I'm gonna ape into this.
The next FOMC meeting.
Everybody watching.
Election.
Everybody watching, do not do what I'm doing.
What's the date?
Let's see. I'm gonna put this. See this?
November 7th.
Everybody see this. See this high right here. This is where I'm putting my stop loss, 61,324. So 61324. Do not do this because this is absolutely the wrong thing to do at 8 a.m. I'm doing a 40x long.
What the fuck?
And I put a stop loss right here at this previous range high. If this continues, great. If it doesn't, I don't care. Hey, you know, we got to gamble together. But I want you guys to notice I did a 40x long. Where's it at? 40x long, but I'm trading $169. So you can 40x, 100x, doesn't matter. Something like this is a nominal amount to me. It might not be to you. If you have a portfolio that's $180, you don't do this. But it's substantially larger. This is just something because, you know, it's 8 a.m. But we're going back here. We're talking about near. Let's go up to near. Where's near? Boom.
I was surprised. That's all.
So near. So I did this August. I got in February. I got in basically here. Boom. Option J. That does. So I was in huge profit. Came down below, and now we're above. But we have this descending trend line that's been basically back here May 2024. Came up, tested, came up, tested, came up, tested. If this breaks through this, it doesn't mean, I want you all to realize, if you break a trend line, it doesn't mean all systems go. It just means, what's your next target? Boom, this next range right here. So if we break out of this, awesome. That's 450. The next range is 528. This still doesn't mean all. This could go up here, reject, come down, and fall completely back down. But near, when we're looking at this altcoin portfolio, this is a position portfolio. This is why I was sharing with y'all. I trade, yes, but I bought a bunch of coins to show you that we could just buy them, hold them, and if it goes into a loss, it'll be in a loss. And we can add, I've added Chainlink along the way. I've added Stacks along the way. I've added Injective, Polkadot, all these along the way. Look at this. Dude, Polygon. I'm down 5,700. I want to jump out the window right now. No, not really. But the point is, hey, it's down. Great. This means this is probably, if I care about this project and I think it has strong partnerships, and I'm like, I think this is going to do well. This tells me this is probably the next thing I should if I'm looking at this, 14%, 6%, 34%, 20, 58%. This tells me I should add, if I'm looking at these metrics, I should add to this position because I can buy basically twice as much as I did back when I initially got it. And it's down, sure, but
that's an interesting thing, actually, because remember they were talking, what Peter was saying, House of Crypto, about what he wanted to do better moving forward is potentially cutting losses no matter what and rotating into a different position. You know what I mean? Would you consider that with something like this?
I would 100%. And I think that's a great consideration everybody should take on. The reason I'm not doing it with this specific portfolio is this altcoin portfolio. No. Well, if it wasn't Matic, I probably would. But I think Matic has been crushed a little bit unnecessarily, and I could be wrong. Maybe I lose my entire shirt on this. But I think Polygon is one of those layer 2. It's one of those crypto projects that has a strong enough ecosystem foundation and the partnerships that are there within that I'd be more willing to hold this in a loss than like, I don't know, dog with hat or name something that is the fundamentals are lacking. Polygon has fundamentals. It's just been completely out of the narrative. And this specific altcoin portfolio that I'm sharing with everybody, and I've been completely transparent with it, is I was going to buy, and I did in February, and this was altcoins I was going to buy and hold until sometime next year when I start rotating into profits, basically coming into where I feel like the near a market cycle top would be. So I have bought this, and it's been incredibly trying because I have the skills to navigate, trade. And I'm like, no, I'm showing the beginner, you can buy something, you can ride it. If it's a bad coin, ride it. Cut it loose or ride it. And in this case, Avalanche, solid project, Ondo, solid project, BitTensor, Near, Chainlink, Stacks, ASI, previously FET, Injective, Polkadot, Polygon, Aerodrome, Aerodrome, by the way, can we talk about this for a second? Aerodrome is obviously the base DEX that, for those of you, some of you may not know, Coinbase Ventures bought $100 million worth of Aerodrome on the spot market. Not, hey, we're VC, give me coin. No, they bought it. They went onto an exchange and they bought Aerodrome tokens, $100 million investment. And now what we see in the last, I think it's in the last 2 weeks. Now we have, it might be 3 weeks, but now we have Base, which is Coinbase's smart contract platform, layer one non-crypto. I don't even know how to describe it. It's its own thing, but they are also now they have wrapped Bitcoin. So I look at OrdiSwap, I look at Stacks, I look at BitLayer, I look at Nervos. There's all these different layer one, layer two solutions that are going to expand the possibilities of DeFi on Bitcoin. But then if you take it down just to the base level, and I don't mean base like the coin, I just literally mean base level, you have Aerodrome, which is the DEX that is providing all of the cross-chain transfers within the base ecosystem. And now they have wrapped Bitcoin. It's kind of like,
the chart.
What's that?
I have the chart pulled up actually. And we actually looked at this a few weeks ago. I haven't looked at it since. So you look at this chart too. It looks pretty good. Broke through this resistance right here. We had this marked off. We must have talked about it probably around this time frame and end up breaking down and then recovering. But breaking above this resistance is pretty significant. And now, really, if it can get through this area, which has been resistance, support, around the 84 cents level, it'd be quite significant in my opinion. If you just look at that chart, it's super clean between the support and the resistance right there.
Can we switch it up?
And now,
I want to switch it up.
If I
do, sorry to interrupt. Well, I don't. Okay, I was gonna say, why don't we do that panel thing? Kind of ask each other, Matt, you and me, what we could do. Like, what were the 3 things that they were covering? What they had learned to do.
We'll do that. So, great chart. I'm cutting you off based on dankiness over here. No, it really was. The panel we were at tonight, it was, first off, it was by Alex, who's the chief partnership officer or chief. He's one of the top guys at Swissborg. Awesome guy. And it was, like we said, it was Altcoin Daily, Crypto Lark, Miles Deutscher, Quentin Francois, Altcoin. It was everybody. And the question he had, rather than just like, hey, let's talk about the market, it was kind of like a coach / mentor framework of how you think about things. And so I'll throw it to you first, Matt, and then I'm going to throw it to Danks. The first question he asked was, if there's something that you currently have, not that you've learned, you've tuned it out. If there's something that you currently are struggling with in the market, what is your aim in this next, let's say 6 months, that you're aware of it and you're trying to not let it affect you in that negative way?
I could name 3 things specifically. The first one would probably be to hold positions and not exit as fast and not exit 100%. It's easy, like when you're in a major profit on a position, to just exit that position completely and walk away with the profits. But there was quite a few times for me, at least, back 6 months ago or over the past year, where something I might have been like 100% up on, I ended up exiting, and then it continued to double or triple afterwards, and I had no position left. So if the thing for me, I'd say, is once when a coin gets hot, it can run for a while. So I think if you could trim profits off, but I wouldn't say to take 100% out. That'd be something I'm going to try to work on. And then the second thing would be to pull more profits out, because you never know when the market is actually going to turn over. So I did take profits out earlier this year, but I'm definitely going to be more aggressive, taking profits out if we get another sizable run over the coming months or year. I think it's especially as we move further into like the cycle. I'd say 2025. I think it's definitely more important to get profits out, especially when there's liquidity there. Often these coins just drop and everything just drops because the liquidity just leaves, and you can't sell at the price that you thought that the coin was worth. And it was worth that much, but you need a buyer on the other end. And when the buyers run out, a lot of things can just lose value very, very fast. And
I want to pause you. I want to pause you there, because I think that is such a bizarre concept. I think to especially newcomers. If you're trading Bitcoin on nearly any exchange, liquidity is there. But if you're trading a coin that is, let's say, 30 million market cap or under 5 million, you can do a market buy and change the dynamic structure. You could start a momentous bullish move just by because I did it 5 years ago. I fat fingered on accident. I tried to do I meant to, I won't say try. I meant to do a limit order, and I did a market order, and it literally, because the liquidity was so low, because there was such little amount traded, when I did a market buy, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use this as just an example. This isn't the numbers. Let's say the token was 10 cents, but there's so little liquidity. There's so little people trading it. When I market bought it, my average purchase ended up being like 19 cents, because it just went because there was nothing in the order book. And then immediately the price fell because there was nothing to actually support that momentum. It was me buying it, and then nobody else was buying. So it was like, oh, it came down, and then I ended up losing money because there was a lack of liquidity. So on the one hand, yes, take profits. On the other hand, be aware, and this is one of the things that Altcoin Daily was talking about today on the panel. Be aware. Literally, this sounds so stupid, but be aware of the tokenomics of the asset you're trading and the amount of regular liquidity in that asset, because you can get yourself so screwed up. I gotta move my stop loss. Hold on one sec. Yeah. So, but what about you?
I would say no, and Kelly, just to add to that too, I would say like it's like when you look at your what's like the most popular app now, CoinStats or Blockfolio, or what do you guys use? Asset Dash?
Coin Market Cap or
Coins.
CoinGecko or crypto.
No, I mean
Bubbles.
for your for your holdings, like coins. No, I mean for like your holdings, you use CoinStats, right?
Oh yeah, CoinStats.
I use Coin Market Cap with CoinGecko.
Yeah. So regardless, whatever that number is, I would say it's almost like you have to view it kind of as like an imaginary number, because yes, it could say that price, but whatever the worth is, or your net worth in crypto is, but not not everyone could exit at that price. It's just the reality of it. So it's like one of those things, like not everyone could exit at their all-time highs. Like only I don't know the number, but it's probably only like 10% of people could exit before the market starts to move down from those highs. So it's just one of those things that you have to realize as well when it comes to just how you like view your holdings and whatnot. And then the last thing that I was going to say is, actually I completely forgot. There was one more thing. There was three things I had. It was to take profits. It's with dealing with FOMO. One of the hardest things is when you see other coins going up and the coin that you're holding isn't. It's definitely hard to avoid. the itch to buy into that coin. And that's like one of the things I know like a lot of people deal with often. I'm sure you dealt with it before, Kelly.
Absolutely, good points, man. So for me, I would say the number one thing, and it still happens, paying more attention to what is going on the coins that I'm either trading or buying and trying to sell at certain price points. Like, for example, when I took my profits the first time Tau hit like 335 last week, I believe, I pretty much knew it was going to fall. So I sold a large chunk of my spot bag, but I didn't short it, right? And I'm like, why wouldn't I short it if I sold like a big chunk of my spot bag? And then I go back and I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, you sell and you don't short, right? Paying closer attention to the things that are happening in my bubble. You know what I mean? And also, and other things that typically I wouldn't just, you don't want to stay blind. I don't want to be blind anymore to other ecosystems. I would like to learn more, even though we've heard things about Richard Hart and whatever. I would like to learn more about Pulse Chain and, Hexagon or Hex, whatever, I don't even know the names in some of them, like Hex Chain, whatever. You're like, so for me, I would like to grow more in different ecosystems, Cosmos, Aptos, Sui. There's so many bullish things, narrative going on around Sui, but I don't really know exactly what, you know what I mean? So, and I'm being transparent. Like, I like to pride myself in being as knowledgeable as possible, but I'm not, you know what I mean? And it's hard for anybody to be in this space, but I want to be as knowledgeable as I possibly can be, and I can't block myself off to my little bubble. So for me, that's, probably the most important thing, just paying attention to what's going on. I mean, and also saying it how it really is, A lot of times I might massage a message to try to play like, appease to someone's confirmation bias instead of just being direct, And I think that there's a lot of value in being direct and honest, in my personal opinion, instead of saying, trying to agree, maybe just to like not upset a paying member that's in my VIP or in my Patreon or Discord and stuff like that. But I'm not doing them any justice by just feeding their confirmation bias, right? So that's personally something as well that, as an educator in the space, or at least I do my best to educate, and I pride myself on the ability to have that opportunity to help others learn. It's important to be completely honest. If I think what I think, you're there for my opinion and also others. So why not be completely blunt? And sometimes the truth hurts. And I've been told the truth by many people in certain situations, but remaining humble and keeping the humility is important. So I think that's 2 points for me, 2 or 3.
For me, it would be, and I was kind of going through these as I was sharing, remembering, even when we look at others or total 3, assets can have their own independent trend. Look at Sui. This is bullish. This is bullish structured. Low, lower low, higher low. Render. Bearish. This is a short term. I'm not saying I'm bullish on render long term. Super bearish. This is basically head and shoulders break, possible breakdown to the downside. Now we're getting a resurgence right now. And by the way, Matthew, you actually say something to me regularly that I have to remind myself of. This is a potential. It doesn't mean it is. This is a potential head and shoulders. It's not a head and shoulders until you fully confirm it. Now, for me, the confirmation, and I could be wrong, the confirmation for me is if this came down, lost this, we had a little fake out there. It did confirm, but then now it's coming up. So this is starting to look like potentially like it. Maybe this is just a trap. Maybe this is not a head and shoulders, which would suggest the target, which is basically the measurement from this head down like this. But this Oh, came down, but it came right back. It came back above this trend line, and now it's looking very contentious. Maybe this was a head and shoulders trap. Maybe this is going to move up. But the structure of this, look at this structure. This looks 100% different. Same time frame. I'm at the 8-hour. Same time frame. Now look at FET. This is low, higher low, higher high, higher low. This is kind of the same high.
If you zoom
but
out more too, it's like an inverse head and shoulders as well.
yeah, shoulder, head, shoulder. Now let's measure that. Option T. Measure this out. Boom. I already have it measured there, but somewhere up here, it's right now at 146. The target on this is potentially 262, but this very well could reject anywhere. This could be a trap. This very well could reject and come down. And people get so pissed. They get so mad. We're like, it's either going up or down. No, it's not. You get mad when an analyst that knows what he's talking about says, hey, this could go up, down, or sideways. Now, this is suggesting the probability is more likely up. But, I mean, look at this. Bullish, bearish, bullish. They're all altcoins, and they have completely different structures going on. XRP, let's look at XRP. The dream everybody's been waiting on for 4 years. Well, first off, let's
7
go ahead.
years.
Look at this. Look at this. Back to June 22nd. Support. A little deviation. Support. Oh, rejection. Now lower high. Currently still a lower high. There's nothing bullish about this chart. This chart, it's not even bearish. I would say this chart is just in a very choppy consolidation. And remember, this right here, this is what, July 2023? This is that first news story that came out. They're probably going to win the SEC case. Couldn't break $1. Came back down. Lower high. Lost this trend line. Came down, lower low. Lower high. I mean, it's just funny to realize. We look at this chart right here. You bring it up all the time, and I love this chart. The others chart, this is everything minus the top 10. So we come over here. Let's go to coin market cap. Let's just click on this. Make sure we're looking at everything. So delete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's looking at everything else. Cardano, Avalanche, Shiba Inu, Bitcoin Cash, all these. Thousands of coins. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at others. The others chart is giving you the general context of what the structural strength is, or the risk on or risk off nature of all those altcoins are. And this is just lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Sorry, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Currently, we have a higher low here. So there's a possibility that this might break out, but this is not confirmed until this not only clears this level, but clears past 223 billion right here. But people get locked in this. They go, oh, we have a higher low. It's done. It's up. Well, this very well could come like it has all the way back here. What is this? March 2024 market cycle top. Look at this triple top. This very well, this could lose this. And it wouldn't even be out of structure for the others, all these altcoins we all hold, for this to come down, lose this, and even come all the way down here. And this is, for everybody to realize, that is a 33% drop. That's on an aggregate. So this means some coins are going to do 70% down. Some are going to do 90. Some are going to do 20. Some are going to do 5. It's going to depend on the strength of the coin. But we have to look at every chart by itself, while also understanding what the general risk matrix is on the broader context. And it's hard to realize that. This is why I highlighted, where is it at? FET, bullish structure, opposite structure here, bearish structure. You have to look at every chart as it is. And it's hard to remember that, because we want to buy one and expect all of them to go up, and that very rarely ever happens.
Yeah, and I would definitely say, like, you got to consider the structure of the chart. There are some charts that look a lot better than others. Like you said, FET probably looks like one of the better ones out there. Sui for a while has been looking better, and we're seeing it, pump today. Phantom also has looked better than pretty much most of them, and now we're seeing that pump. You just have to look around. If you see that inverse head and shoulder pattern forming, that's usually a good sign. But if you're seeing like what you see with render right now, it doesn't mean it's not going to pump, but it's not ideal. You'd rather have the setup that Fed's currently seeing uh, versus what you're seeing with render.
All right, I'm holding a gun to your head, Matt.
Yep.
You have to buy 3 coins. You have to hold them for 3 months. The only 3 coins you can hold. What would they be?
I would say FET, Sui, and Phantom, or Aave too. I like Aave. I
Let's
think
see.
those coins.
FET, bullish
Yeah.
structure. What was the other one? Sui.
Yeah, Sui.
Dude, that looks so nice. It's actually funny.
Although Sui,
It's funny to look at
Sui
this bullish structure, and the money flow is still super negative. But look at all this buying. For anybody that doesn't know, BitLab trading stack, this momentum wave, all this green, this is just momentum moving up. This means that there's a huge amount of buying coming in. This is why these bars are green. But this is actually at a pivotal point. Boom, right there. Why? Previous range high. And look at this, previous range low, and also previous range high. If this gets rejected here, it's not the end of the world, but I would be watching for a move back down right here. Boom. How do I know
you
that?
could measure that if you measure that as like a bull flag over the past few weeks. Measure from that low at the bottom back in August, I think it was, to
Here,
the
August
high, and
5th.
then treat that as like a bull flag. I was measuring this out yesterday.
Well, here's the low, August 5th. Pushes up. It comes into this range, all this chop. Comes back down, tests this range high, range low. Comes back, consolidates, and then breaks. This is the pivotal point. It broke past these ranges. This looks great. But it doesn't mean it's
I was if you
just
were to
going to go
measure
up
it,
and away. What do you want me to measure?
I'd
You
measure from
measure.
that low. Okay, right there. I just did it. So that target actually falls at around $1.78 ish if you measure it from here. Right. If you treat this as like a pull flag, comes up here. So has more room to run. Especially if you look at the Bitcoin pair for a lot of these coins, that's usually the other sign. Let me see if I can find Sui BTC. Sui BTC. Okay. So at this point, this was about a week ago. Sui made a higher high. Let me zoom in. At this point right here, Sui had made a higher high against Bitcoin. And then it kind of came down, but once when it got back above this, I was telling my patrons to enter, and Sui's price at that time was around 90 cents USD. But it was pretty, like, if you look at the Bitcoin pair, it was more obvious than the USD pair actually, because USD pair hadn't made a higher high yet at this point. It was still below this, but then on the Bitcoin pair, it came up and made a higher high out of this structure. So usually, if you compare the coin against Bitcoin versus USD, sometimes you'll find more like data or information. And this applied to FET as well. Like FET, for example, if we look at FET BTC, right? Let me see if I can find it. This is against Bitcoin right here. This is a clean inverse head and shoulders against Bitcoin, which is usually a stronger sign, because if it's going to go up against Bitcoin and while Bitcoin's going up, then it'll probably outperform even more. So like FET, for example, if it can get through this area against Bitcoin, then it's probably going to be off to the races going forward over the coming weeks and months against Bitcoin. I can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize I was muted. No, I love it. So,
Yeah.
Danks,
Talk to me.
Highland, everybody, if you're tuned in right now, there's probably a lot of people that have tuned in that have never watched before because this is I don't typically stream at this time. I'm at Token 2049 and it's 2049 actually. We're here in the future. No, it's September 19th, Thursday, 8:40 a.m. because I'm in Singapore. I'm on the other side of the world. And we just wanted to come live because of the FOMC meeting. We were talking about the FOMC rates earlier, what this might mean for markets. Our room is super small, so we just decided to do it completely laid back from the bed. But I think we'll go a little bit longer. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually just. I was looking at some coins. I was like, man, what would I hold? You know, it's hard for me. I think honestly, like, I really believe if I were to hold just three for the next 3 months, I would definitely want to hold at least one meme coin.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I always try to keep one, like in any scenario. I want to have at least one meme coin. It doesn't matter the market cap. Something that I believe can grow. There's actually one. It's in not financial advice. It's called No Token. I met these guys in Florida, and really nice cats. They're I don't want to say where they work, but they're bankers, and they're not about this like trying to get rich, like or not even rich, like rug like a $200,000 profit. Like these guys are in it for the long term. It feels like.
I just sent you the link. You can share your chart.
Oh, I can't hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so
1 second. We're shaping this up.
let me open it up here.
It's on Twitter. And if you are tuned in anywhere, we're just happy you're here. Thank you for being here. If we look tired, it's because it's 8:43 a.m. here in Singapore. We're at the conference. We decided to go live. I've never seen what it looks like on somebody else's screen when they log in.
I'm like sitting back like this.
You don't need it. It doesn't matter.
I don't know if it's gonna. I have to turn my mic off.
You turn it off. Just share your screen.
All right. Share screen. Thanks.
1 second. Hang out there, Highland.
See if I can turn my mic off so we don't get double.
I guess Kelly left.
Hurry up.
There we go. Boom.
Damn, this shit is moving. So
We don't have your screen.
you don't see it?
There it is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is just the one I was talking about. If you don't mind holding, this is just the one I was talking about. No token. So what I really like about it is that they've been holding since they started. You know, back in February, bounced between sub 100K up to 600, back down. But now they've really started to go off to the races. I found out about them around $1 million market cap and DCA'd in up to 3.5 million.
So I have to ask you because anybody that watches me regularly, you all know I'm not really a big meme coin trader. But it's a different strategy. So I know you've made beyond six figures trading microcaps, trading meme coins. By beyond six figures, anybody that can't count, that means the milli club. So what are you looking? How the hell are you like? I'm not just going to get wrapped in a scam. How do you actually get in here, get in, make money, get out?
I think so there are those potential opportunities to just get in, get out. You know, I could get out at what is it, over a 2.5x or something like that, maybe a 2x now. But when I see, I just like the meme, dude. Like, no, like it's literally like, no, you know what I mean? So for me, I just like the meme. I can identify with it. And also I see that they've just been holding for quite some time. You have the liquidity burn, so we don't have to worry much as far as that getting like rug pulled from the liquidity pool. And we don't see like mega sales from what I've seen. So let's go. And one thing you can do that I'll suggest if you're looking at these low cap cryptos is you can go in and you can actually just look at the major sales, right? So I would say maybe filter over 1,000, right? Anything greater than 1,000.
This is on Dex Screener.
This is on Deck Screener, yeah. So let me just hide this here. So you would basically just click this little button here on the USD and then just filter greater than 1,000, and you'll see like there will be some big trades, but this looks like either a bot or some type of market maker. These big ones, look, it's sold 10 G's, bought right back. You know, I don't see any major sell-offs. Here's one that's 4,600, and then there's one that's like 19K, which is 16 days ago. But if it was like just hammering, like especially right now, right? We don't see it. And we've been pumping over the last however many, this is a 4-hour chart. I mean, if anybody should be taking profits significantly, it should have been this last week. But you don't see any major profits. I'm sure there are holders that are in the majors, you know, 5 figures. Yeah, see right here. And this is probably not even correct, actually. There's probably more money in it. So if you see like perhaps maybe is this wallet selling? No, he bought a month, 6 days ago, way back here and just hodling, right? So these are some of the things that I'll look at and see like, is there a wallet, top wallet selling? No, I mean, unless they're selling, I'm not going to run through everything and look and see if they're moving right now. I already have, and to me, it appears that they're just holding and buying and holding, you know? So that's what I look for. And I don't know, maybe I'll take profits, maybe not sooner than later, but I think this one can go the long haul. Again, not financial advice. This is super risky, sub 5 million market cap. Excuse me. Looking at my
RSI is also in the upper half.
Yeah, RSI is, you know, it's interesting actually. Is there a divergence here?
Starting to be.
Yeah, right here. So here I have just my mouse. So we do have a divergence. I would say it's a bearish divergence, huh?
Yeah.
So we've got a bearish divergence. What does that mean? Now, it's difficult on charts that are very small cap, but I'll just show you just so you can see it. The chart and the price action is going upward, right? We've got this here. However, the oscillator, which would be the RSI, is trending downward, right? So the relative strength index is showing less strength over an extended period of time, matching the same time frame as the chart. So there's a potential that this could drop off and, you know, start selling off, and then maybe another opportunity to enter. I don't know. Some people would take this as a chance to just take profits and cut risk. Take your initial out at least, you know. That would probably be smart. So yeah, just something. I'm glad you kind of mentioned the RSI because it does bring that good point. And also you might notice like a lot of people might have an RSI that'll look like this. I'll show you. It comes standard looking like this, right? But I actually take off the top and bottom and I leave just a middle flat line on the 50 because it makes it much easier for me to just identify divergences. And I already know on the RSI where oversold and overbought is. I don't need these dotted lines. So sometimes clearing up the chart, making it less clutter, makes things more efficient for you, and just your mind is able to take in the data a little bit easier. These are a lot of the coins that I, you know, either hold or look for opportunities. Tau is a big one for me. In and out. Honestly, I would say that I kind of wish that I would have just continued layering in instead of like taking profits. I'm like a profit taking machine when it comes to spot. But when it comes to futures, I struggle with taking profits. Like even yesterday, dude, how many times did I like go over this Tau short that I was in? I'm so glad I took, profits at 313 from 328 on that 10x trade, 4K margin, which is a nice size. Aave. Now, the thing about Aave, if I'm not mistaken, they have like a crypto loans or something like that. Yeah, DeFi lending, right? And Aave is like right now, personally, I think that Aave is one of the most bullish projects because there are so many people that need money that want to invest in crypto. Somehow getting crypto lending is an awesome opportunity for people. So I believe that Aave provides that for, whoever needs it. And it's just a brilliant, DeFi is actually a great narrative that I think might be a little overlooked perhaps, or maybe it's starting to get a shining light. Man, I remember just not too long ago, Aave was under $100. Let me go back to over here.
I've read somewhere recently. I don't have the exact numbers, but like the profitability on Aave, their business model is like doing like 10x what it was during like the top of last cycle. So I think the underlying, I guess, fundamentals are pretty strong for Aave. It's been one of the better performing coins too over the past like 6 months compared to everything else. It's way higher than what it was even in April, I think. So everything else is way down from the April highs, while Aave is above it. So Aave has been doing well. It's also that the token that Trump is launching his project on. It's through Aave.
Oh, I didn't
So
know
I don't
that.
know if that's yeah, I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if people are going to treat that as like a meme coin play, Aave now. Who knows? He does. I think they are launching their own coin, but it's through Aave somehow. I don't know the inner workings of the coin dynamics, but it is through Aave. I think that could be the reason why it's been a little bit stronger as well for the past few months. That would kind of make sense. There's probably insiders that knew. So yeah, but it's basically, if you look at the chart too, it's basically at a point where if it breaks the resistance, it has a lot of room to run upward. But
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
I'm on my mouse here, my touchpad. There was one thing Kelly mentioned, tokenomics, right? If you're out there and you don't really understand tokenomics, or if you haven't kind of dove into it, an easy way to and I'll just give you the alpha right here. Ondo is a project I'm going to just show you the tokenomics on. You can go to cryptorank.io. They're pretty good about putting up the vesting schedule. The vesting schedule will tell you, vesting is basically how the coins or tokens for that project come into the market. Because if they were to just give, like, let's take a look here. Vesting, right? I'll click vesting on Ondo, and there's a reason why I'm showing you this, because Ondo is a big talk for real world asset plays, but a lot of people might not know what I'm about to show them. So first off, let's take a look here. Ecosystem growth, 52.1% is the total allocation. Unlocked is only 12.5%, and locked is 39.6%. Now the thing is, they release these tokens on a timely basis instead of all at once, because they don't want to risk the potential of dumping all of the coins like whenever possible. So they release them on a schedule, right? So for Ondo, they release a very small amount of their supply, 0.001% of their max supply. Oh, my laptop's gonna die too. Every single day until January. If I go all the way down, I think it's January. Let's see, where is it? January 2025. January, yeah, it's like right here. January 18th, 2025, 19.4% are release of the max supply, which is 134% of the current market cap. If you don't know that this is happening and you're like buying into a pump potentially, or you're just like hodling through and you have no idea that this unlock over 100%, 125% over that is going to be unlocked at this current market cap, then likely that this is going to get sold off for something, because 15% of it, ecosystem growth, product development, private sales, definitely. Insiders that bought a long time ago, they're going to dump most likely and take a lot of profits. I can almost guarantee you that. So be aware of these things and start looking into them if you haven't already. And there's a lot of projects that you wouldn't expect. There's so many. Like, I don't know what would be a project. Like AI tech is one that I love as well. I mean, I wouldn't say love. I think it has a lot of potential. But again, testing schedule, understanding the tokenomics, and knowing when the next unlock is and how much is actually being allocated on those unlocks. These things are important. So I just wanted to touch on that.
There's a coin that it's like a good example of it. It's layer 0. You could hear me, right?
Layer 0.
Yeah, let's see. Layer.
Are you sharing your screen also?
Yeah. Layer 0, only like 10% of the supply is currently out. I don't know if you want to pull it up. If not, I can go to probably Coin Market Cap.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, your screen's shared actually, I think.
Which one do you need?
Okay.
The charger, my phone, my batteries on my laptop. The big block. That one right there, next to the router.
This?
Yeah. I don't know if who can see what screen. I have no idea whose screen. I have layer 0.
No. My screen's up, but it's on the left
Okay.
side. I'm on Coin Market Cap, so our faces are covering the supply that I would show you. I don't know. I'm not sure how to move it over.
I think you can move it.
Yeah. So that's good enough. So like right here, this is the circulating supply. You look, it's around 100. I think, is that 110 million? But then if you look at the total supply, it's a billion. So that means only about 10% of the supply is even in circulation. So that means 90% of the supply is still yet to be unlocked. And that's just like something to know. If you buy into anything, this is all on Coin Market Cap. And believe it or not, the coin's done well. I don't own it. It's been performing actually pretty well. It's pumping right now, but it's just something you have to like consider that 90% of the supply of this coin is not in circulation yet.
Not 100% supply. 100%.
No, for sure. I want to just this just makes me laugh. No, CW said BitLab Academy, which is us. Can someone tell Buffalo Bill to sit up? The voice is as low as the energy effort to be presentable. Well, first off, if you've been tuned in for a while, it's now it's a presentable time. It's 9 a.m. We start. When did we start? Like 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's
We're on the other side of the world. We're at Singapore, Token 2049, and we're at a bunch of events. We were meeting with everybody from the Altcoin Daily Brothers to Cryptos R Us to Lady of Crypto, everybody. And we came back. We saw that the FOMC results came out, and I shot Matt a message. I said, "Let's go live." And it's this is why we look so tired.
Wait,
this is why.
You guys haven't slept yet?
No, we went from those events and we came straight here. And then I'm DJing tonight, the CoinW event later on tonight. But I just think it's funny. CW he's being playful, but he's like, yeah, it's not presentable. Well, sometimes you got to just be homies. Hoping someone gets the Silence of the Lambs reference. You know what? The
Are you going to go to sleep?
We'll go to sleep in a little bit.
Kelly, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Did you see the Falcons? Did you see the Falcons game the other night?
Where'd my camera go? Can you still hear me? Yeah, you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I did not see it because I was.
They drove the field with a minute. They drove the field with a minute and 40 seconds left and no timeouts and won the game.
No way.
Against the Eagles, yeah. So.
Oh, one of my friends, my neighbor, he would love that. Guys, bear with me. I'm trying to figure out with my Mac. Is it this one right here? Sorry, guys. Boom.
Someone's asking on the side this percentage of the
Got it.
TVL. Yeah, it's you'd have to look at the unlock schedule. Like the example with layer zero, like I don't know the unlock schedule, but it's still just something like if you're planning on holding something like long term and only 10% of the supply is in circulation, 90% of the supply um, is going to be released at some point. That's pretty significant. Most coins aren't like that though. Most of the coins are a lot less than that. So but yeah, that's just part of the, I guess, shenanigans you have to deal with in crypto. Um, it's just one of those things.
Matt, what was your best trade you've ever taken, and what was your worst?
I don't, I don't know. Like to me, it's like all like a blur. What about yours? Like I don't remember like particular trades like that. It's just
I bought
F for
Cardano.
us.
I got like 700,000 Cardano under a cent, and I felt like the best trader in the world
Okay, okay,
when I
okay.
sold it
All right.
at like 6 cents, and then when it got to $3, I was like, that was not the right move. But I did take profit, so that's all good. Worst trade is when I lost almost $100,000 in one trade while I was on a family vacation, and I had to play it off like nothing happened. I'm having fun, but in my mind, I'm like, I am dead inside, and it was the best lesson I've ever learned in crypto. I call it tuition.
So for me, it was actually also Cardano. It was last cycle. I bought it around 2 or 3 cents. Wrote it to $3. I didn't sell at $3 though. I ended up selling, I think, at like 80 or 60 cents. So it was still like a 20 or 30x, but it could have been 100x. So yeah, Cardano was sitting there for the taking last cycle. It was kind of crazy that it did 100x actually.
I would say just like looking through some old, I'm looking through some old memes that I've been through. Oh, on Itoshi.
I think you guys like cut out.
Hear us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it wasn't showing you guys on the screen. There we go.
There's a token. It's still they're actually working pretty hard. It seems behind the scenes called Yotoshi. It's pretty pretty down right now, sub 400K. But I got in pretty early.
I would never trade this.
I got in on like the first day of launch, and it just went to like 50 million market cap within the first 3 days. I think. I mean, I can't. I would have to like scroll all the way back and stuff, but this was the thing is like when you get into these coins so early and you buy a large supply, you can't. I mean, how can you? My bag was over around $1 million at the top, and there's just no way I could somehow extract that without wrecking the chart. You can't do that. So I mean, I wouldn't do that. I would love to take home damn near around $1 million, but it's just like if you are stuck in that situation, it's really hard. You try to take profits without hurting the chart, and then people start selling as well, especially if you start selling $5,000, $10,000 and stuff like that. So it's comes with its pros and cons, buying coins like that super early. But this one I did pretty well on, I would say. There was a couple others. Let's see. This is another one. Pengy OS, I got to give them credit. They've been hovering at this one. These are so low. It's funny to see. I got in right here at sub 50K, and it ran all the way up, and I literally took the profit close to the top, which did like 5,000%, which was excellent. These are, yeah, so that was awesome. I mean, mini. I mean, I could go on. There's so many. Like, I don't even have them in here. Soul chat in my
What's the
community.
most you lost, and how did you lose it?
The most I lost. I lost. I had a not trade that I did really well on, but I also lost. It was such a bad mistake, and this goes back to paying attention. I had put 20 or 30, it was $30,000 on not to go long, and I didn't change the leverage, and it was automatically set to like 20 or 25x on $30,000, dude. And I had taken that long and literally put it in on the top, and it that next 1 minute candle fucking liquidated me, and I was devastated. I'm telling you, like, I had never, that was the biggest trade at that time that I had even made, and I literally lost it like that. You know what I mean? And
What'd you feel?
I felt stupid. I felt like an idiot.
Did you want to give up?
No, no, no. I didn't want. I would never. I've never had the feeling of wanting to give up. I think this, like, tenacity of wanting to continue to grind and just learn from my mistakes has kept me from giving up. You know what I mean? And also, I've played poker my whole life. I've been in massive pots. Lost, won. So I'm kind of a little desensitized to large amounts of money, whether it's winning or losing. But that was pretty rough, I would have to say. I mean, I've been rug pulled, on these some random coin, but Soul Chat, this was probably the best call in my community. And if you are in the community, we got in down here literally at sub 1 million market cap. And what's the price on that? Does it show here? So I think it was like under, how did you double tapped on this? Oh, there we go. Yeah, this was,
I got all the hotkeys.
you do, bro. You do. Soul Chat is a chat platform, kind of like a messaging service on Solana. And we got in at under, it was very low, like under, I think it was under 20 cents. I'm not sure. But it ran way up. I'm trying to pull back, but it's hard with this internet and my freaking mouse or my touchpad. But yeah, this actually minted at least, I think, 2 millionaires in my community, multiple six-figure earners. So that was awesome. I'm just glad that the community was able to take advantage of that. I actually sold too early. I didn't make as much as I could have, but it's okay. You don't always nail it. And I think that's something to learn as well, or to grasp, is like, you're never going to just always get it right. You know what I mean? It's okay. If you're making money, or even if you're losing money at the time, it's okay, as long as you're learning from your mistakes. It's really hard to know which one's going to just completely pop off and explode. Like, you just never know. Like, if I go back, this is no wonder I'm on the 15-minute chart like an idiot. Okay, so look at this. Look at how crazy this moved. So it was back here is when we got in, and we have a degen community inside my community, right? So they just trade, like, as soon as something comes out on Dex Screener, they're just on it. And then we have traders that are, have put calls in there, and they trade and they get in and out of sub 100K market cap coins. But this happened to be one that they got in under 10 cents, I believe. And it went all the way up to almost $20. Connected. Put a 1 in the chat if we're back. Oh, I'm not in. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Join. I think we're still live.
You got 632 watching.
Yeah, I don't know. It's spinning.
I guess I can see you.
Can you get me? Let me in. Have some water while we wait. You gotta let me in. Waiting for host. Okay, here we go. I'm back. All right, we are back. Sorry for the disconnect. Chat looks good. We're all good. Another couple, It's true, actually. Micro caps, low caps. Yeah, my my service is terrible. Um,
Are you sharing your screen?
yeah, I'm sharing my screen, yeah. But my camera is kind of shitty, but it's okay. You want to lower the frame rate, possibly? Here, let me see if I can lower mine. No, I can't, huh? It's okay. No worries. As long as you guys are good. Yeah. So, anyways, back to the chart. So that was Soul Chat. A lot of people. The reason why it went bananas is because Tolly, he actually tweeted it, and it just went berserk as soon as he did, and it just ran. And now look, buys are still coming in. So interesting project. I don't know how it'll do, but they're talking about I think integrating it into the Solana phone. So let's see if there's anything else out here that I was looking at. This is just one like token that I found, and it has I don't know what's up with it now. It's got 200K market cap. I got in under 50K, put 4Gs, and then within 12 hours ahead 80K, didn't take profit, wrote it down to 35K, and then took profit. It's like a lot of little things like that. Now, not these types of tokens. ZK Swap Finance was a project that I got in on at sub 100K market cap. It's the ZK Sync ecosystem, and I believe the first token to come out in the ZK Sync ecosystem. I'm not 100%, but I think it is. This one, it did really well. I mean, for what had happened, and it's just been struggling lately. But got the community in, and I had been mega bullish on this for quite some time. But unfortunately, this chart doesn't actually show how it worked out. ZK Swap, or here, let's go ZF. ZK Swap Finance. We got in, community got in, and it rode up to I think over 25 million. But I took profits the whole way, and that is one thing, is
What was your
taking
strategy? What do you
profits.
mean you took profits? Like, how do you? Were you just taking it as it was
Different,
going?
yeah. At the time, so this was actually so in full transparency, I was pretty much broke like when this trade had come into my life. Somebody close to me, a homie, brought this up to me, and I looked into it. I didn't really take him seriously at first, and then when I looked into what the project is, it's a DEX for ZK Sync's ecosystem that is a swap to earn platform. So, and it's a zero knowledge layer two like roll up Ethereum. So it's super low on gas fees. I can show you actually their site. It's a cool project. It's just right now it's been struggling, unfortunately. But yeah, you literally earn tokens, and they were the first ones to ever do this, to my knowledge. You literally earn tokens when you swap, and they're not cheap with it. They hook you up. So this was the one that my first really nice lick. I think I turned $1,000 into close to 30 or 35K. I needed that. My screen's not sharing again? Oh yeah, it is. It just looks pretty rough. What's going on?
We're dealing with Asian bandwidth. Give us a second.
I think it's because I'm streaming, you're streaming, we've got this crappy bandwidth that we're working on. Yeah, I mean, it's super delayed. Yeah, what's the chat saying? Is everybody cool in the chat? Caspa as well. I did very well on. Got in at around between 3 and 4 cents. Stacked as much as I could and rode that up and took profits along the way. Swing traded it. Man, I fucking love crypto, dude. I love crypto. Let's see. Let's go back to the DGen chart. So a lot of times what I'll do is like go to. It's not up. Oh, it's lagging hell. I mean, maybe we're lagging. I don't know what. In general, I could just maybe talk as long as you guys can hear. Um, Diversify yourselves and go and learn about different projects and different ecosystems. And it's something that I said and earlier in the stream I really would like to do more of. And I think it's important that we just, if you're gonna be in crypto, try to stay up to date with current trends because there's money to be made all over the place. But if you're not following, I mean, it's fine. You can just DCA into your favorite project, stuff like that over a long term. But if you're not following current, situations with those projects, you might miss something and then, you never took profits and it just goes down and you're holding and holding and holding. You don't want to be stuck in that situation. For a lot of people, they do come on here, Dex Screener, and they trade these meme tokens that are, just super risky. And I, not financial advice, but it is personal advice saying just don't put heavy amounts that you can't afford to lose in general in crypto, but specifically in degen plays like, whatever it could be, like even Soul Chat. Like, there's all these Soul utility tokens. You don't know. Everyone's chasing the next Popcat, right? So Kate now is one that has been popping. Nero, but they sell off and another one comes along. So personally for me, when I did make, pretty good money early on in the year and end of last year, I was putting too much money in these coins. I was putting $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 on like such degen plays. But you get snake bitten and you have to learn your lesson. So it's just it's been a very interesting personal experience. Crypto itself, I have ample years of charting behind me, but the fundamentals, the macro, I mean, crypto's a beautiful thing, man. This is really cool to be sitting here chilling. There's so many people. How many? Almost 800 across or more. If you don't know, if you just showed up, Kelly said it a couple of times, but we're in Singapore, token 2049. We went out to token CoinW. Awesome, awesome, awesome people. Company, exchange, CEX. Hung out with President Sonia and Reese and Nayati and all these people that work for CoinW at their booth. Got some really cool, like, just gear and stuff from them. And then we walked around and met up with some people from, Kelly knows a lot more people than I do out here. He's been in the space longer. And it was just, a really cool experience. We came back after a few hours at the event, made some trades. I made a really nice profitable trade on Tau. I don't mind pulling it up, I guess. Here, let's see if I can pull it up. Where is it? I think it's here. Yeah, so this one I did close. So it was a short on Tau, 328 to 313. And man, it's so crazy how I struggle to take profits on futures, but I can just peel off on spot bags. But that was awesome. We got to chat with the homie and gave some really good insights together. We all talked, and then we went out to network. And as if you are in YouTube and you're making content, or you're small, or even if you're larger, I was talking to, not to be named, a pretty big YouTuber. He's got over 60,000 subscribers on YouTube, but he's never been to a crypto event. So putting yourself out there, networking, that has been a game changer for me personally. I absolutely love meeting people in the space. And then it also gives you a little bit more credibility in a sense, because people get to see you, talk to you. There's a tangible relationship, even if it's just a handshake and a goodbye. When you see them online or somewhere, somehow in a group or whatever, you start talking to them, they know you. They've seen your face. They've seen your smile. You know, they've heard your voice like in person. They've seen your eyes to get, you know, so that is something I encourage anyone, whether you've been in the space a long time or not.
Let's ask. Let's ask.
Yeah.
Poll everybody. We 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 tune in online.
Go ahead.
We tune in online, right? All of us. Alexander G, Sack Nasty, Jumpman. I see you here. K Jam, and we all know the majority of our world is completely either against crypto still, or they think we're out of our minds for being part of it. Or let's be honest, even if you don't really talk about it, most people don't bring this up with their family. This is still such a small niche community. When you come to these conferences, you're surrounded by an entire ecosystem. You're surrounded by an entire group of people that deeply are aware of how powerful this is, and it really strengthens your resolve and being a part of it and moving forward. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll just tell you my experience. So for me, the first crypto event that I went to was Bitcoin Nashville 2024. Where we met. Yeah. And it happened to be that a lifetime member, Tio, he was in the chat earlier, came with us, or I brought him with me to Bitcoin Nashville. And it was the best thing because I actually have a family. I have a family. I have my cousins and uncles that live in Nashville. So I was at a party at a club and downstairs chatting with my cousin on the couch. And Tio was upstairs taking shots with Kelly. And he texted me. He's like, bro, you got to come upstairs. I want you to meet somebody. It happened to be, it's so crazy because Tio came on a last minute. It was so last minute. That day that I was leaving to drive to LA to take off to Nashville, I just put a message out to the community, said, hey guys, anyone want to come? I'll take care of it. Like, let's roll. I'll get your ticket, hotel, we're good to go. All you got to do is get your flight, you know? So he came, dude, last 3 hours at the buzzer. So I'll show Bitcoin Nashville 2024. So because I brought him, if I never brought him, I probably would have never met Kelly. And since I met Kelly and got some FaceTime with CoinW because I've been working with them, you see, like, look at it, we're just chilling, you know, we become fucking homies, you know, and it's things that you can't get just sitting behind a keyboard, you know, and then not to mention going to Bali and showing up at an event, you know, that CoinW again hosted. You know, I've been doing a lot of things with CoinW because they've been inviting me, you know what I mean? And I've been going. They're just good people. Yeah, I mean, CoinW, Bali, that was awesome, man. They had such an amazing it was just an amazing place. So now I had the opportunity to talk to their social media director, and her and, you know, she has a partner that she works with, had just loved chatting with me, and I've been running their spaces for the last couple weeks now, I think. I'm not sure if all of them, they just hit me up whenever, and it's been pretty frequent. So these are the opportunities that come. So in anything in life, put yourself out there. Don't be scared because you never know what's going to happen. You know, it's almost going to always be in your benefit to put yourself out there and show up, even if you don't want to or you're nervous or scared, because what do you have to lose at the end of the day? You know, I don't have anything to lose. All I can do is win, or try to win. And yeah, I mean, here we are today. Now we're at Token 2049. I got to chat with countless OGs in the space, and because of Kelly, you know, and I want to thank you publicly, bro. Everywhere we went, all the OGs that you're talking to, hey, like, this guy, man, he's such a good guy. As soon as he walks up, he's like, hey, man, good to see you, such and such, like, whoever, like Lark, Davis, Crypto Lark, or Altcoin Daily. second thing out after saying hey to him, dude, you gotta meet my boy Crypto Danks. He is da da da, like he hypes me up, and it's so cool to hear. And I believe that he actually feels the way that, unless he's just blowing smoke, but why would he? You know, so he's just showing love, and that's a really cool thing to do for each other in the space, because all we have at the end of the day is, you know, each other. We're just kind of all in this together, right? So I want to thank you, man, for just saying, like, giving me an opportunity to meet these cool people that I never would have if I had just come by myself and didn't network and talk to anybody or know you, you know. So these are the things that have unfolded. I know I'm rambling. We've been trading in different clubs all. We haven't slept, but fucking good. But I'm just trying to say is, like, in general, I'm super grateful. I'm super happy, and I think that this is the beginning of a really awesome friendship that we've been able to build, and I'm just happy to be here, bro. And Matt, if you're still there, I don't know if he's still there. He might have taken off, or I'm not sure. He's out. Yeah, hopefully get to meet him soon, and multiple other people. So yeah, I mean, I guess I want to ask you something, bro. And how many people we got here? So
663 on Twitter.
Okay, so I want to.
And like 50 on YouTube.
Okay, cool. So let's ask you. I want to ask you. Tell me one thing that you are most appreciative of in crypto, or around crypto, or because of crypto. Something like super.
It's
one thing.
It's for me, because I've done a lot of research. It's an escape hatch, and what I mean by an escape hatch, it's a realistic opportunity. Not only a realistic opportunity, it's the best opportunity that I don't think I'm bloviating this. Using SAT words, I know. No, I feel like this is the best opportunity in a multi-generational time frame. And I'm thankful for every one of you that's here. Alexandra G, I see you. Crypto 2. I think that's how you say it. KJM. Whoever's tuned in. Anybody that's tuned in. You're ahead of the curve. Sometimes we feel like we're behind because we watch CryptoFace. I love CryptoFace, a buddy of mine. And I tune in and I'm like, this motherfucker's doing a $10 million trade. And then what we do is we fail to realize that's where he's at. And we try to catch up. No, you're not going to catch up. That's not a negative thing. Just stop trying to catch up. Look at the strategy he's using. Jump into the strategy. You don't need to go 100x because you feel bad trading $100 or $1,000 or 10,000, and he's trading 10 million. You're like, oh no, don't do that. That's where he's at. So what I'm thankful for is the opportunity that we have, but that comes with the responsibility of all of us trading independently for what is okay, what's meaningful in a way that we can take on risk, because it's the least risk of our life. However, there's the most risk opportunity, meaning you can wreck yourself. You can absolutely wreck yourself because you're trying to play catch up with other people that have been around longer. I do BitLab Academy specifically because I want to give people meaningful tools, meaningful resources, meaningful content, meaningful strategy, and a community that we can bounce ideas and thoughts and learn from each other. But that does not mean emulate each other. So I'm thankful for the opportunity. And I'm thankful that I have a community that's, even if there's 6 people, I'm thankful that I have the opportunity that people tune in and hear what's up. I do want to address something just because I thought it was interesting, and I'm not political. However, I have to address it. Crypto 2, I think that's how you said it. It had something to do with Trump. My response to that is, and this was literally 10 minutes before we went live, we got a call from, it was like a I don't know, a political action person.
Oh, dude, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
we got the call from the political action person,
Yeah, so
and we didn't debate them. We just asked them why. How
yeah.
did it go?
Yeah, so this is interesting, you guys. You might have had a similar experience, or maybe people calling you to have you vote for somebody for Congress or whatever it might be. And it was just like, what we're gonna say, it might not be like, it's hard to exactly put yourself in our position, but it was a Democratic Party representative calling and saying, "We just wanted to remind you to vote, in case you forgot." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like,
Hey,
"I'm like,
wait, hold on, hold on. We didn't debate the guy. We asked him. We asked him. It wasn't even a challenge. What Ryan something? No, but we asked him, and it wasn't a challenge. It was more like an opportunity. We're like, okay, why? And it wasn't like why. It was like, okay, you want us to vote for this person. What are the
what state was it? Did he say?
probably New York because I have a 914 number.
Call my number.
They called your number.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was probably California.
Yeah.
No, but the point was, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. I honestly,
The guy.
to each his own. But he was trying. He basically was saying, "Why will you vote for this person?" And we said, "Okay, tell us about the person." And he got very defensive, and we weren't like, "Okay, why?" We're like, "Hey, just tell us your thoughts. Like, do we need more of this? Do we need less?" Well, and he couldn't. He got super defensive. He was like, "Okay, well, tell us what the policies are." I had no answer. Okay, tell it. He had. I can't even get into it because I'm going to go on my own path.
Well, I can chime in on that. So basically, he called and he was completely unprepared to answer any questions, like literally anything. And we were pretty nice and honest and just said, "Hey, like, you're calling us to pitch a vote, okay? Why should we vote for this person?" And just left it there, waited for him to answer. And he paused, and then he really fumbled the bag. What did he even say? Something that was irrelevant into the
abortion.
yeah. He said, "Do you?" Oh, no, it's not irrelevant. Don't take me wrong. He said, but
Do
it
you
was
believe
just
in a
kind
woman's right
of,
to
do you
choose?
believe in a woman's right to choose, right? And he's saying that if Trump is elected, and then every time he mentioned Trump, he had to stop. And I think somebody was telling him not to talk about Trump. Like, they are so trying to massage anybody they can to vote on the Democratic Party, even if it's not like they're concerned that Trump is going to get in office no matter what the situation might be with Harris and all that, and they're trying to just squeeze even a Dem in Congress. They're just like begging, he's like couldn't get a point across, and it's sad to see. If he just had anything to say that was valuable, that would help. I mean, we were honestly saying, "Hey, like, give us some good reasons and we'd be open to listening," but nothing, literally nothing. He said, "Well, you guys, sorry, I don't want to keep you any longer." And it's like, that is being unprepared and really having no initiative, right? Like, no real reason to call. You're just trying to get people that don't know or don't follow politics. "Hey, I'm the only person that's called you to tell you to vote. So vote for this person." And then, you know what? Honestly, most people probably would. And
Well,
it's sad. I think that's probably what would
well,
happen.
not only that, it was the problem I had with it was this, and I believe in a woman. I do. I still. I'm, red-blooded guy that grew up in Texas, but then I studied at the most liberal institution in the world. I don't talk about this online very much, but I studied anthropology at Columbia University. And his response was when we were just asking why, okay, why should we vote for this person? It wasn't a challenge. It was more like, give us an opportunity to learn. And he goes, "Do you not believe in a woman's right to choose?" And I said, "Well, I absolutely believe in a woman's right to choose for more reasons than I could ever even illuminate on a podcast. But beyond that, it was, listen, the
Will Rollins.
yeah,
It was Will Rollins.
Will Rollins. But the thing was, he said, "Do you not believe in a woman's right to choose?" And we both said, "No, we absolutely believe in a woman's right to choose." He goes, "Well, if Trump gets in office, they're not going to have the right to." And my question to him, I said, "Do you believe in democracy?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Do you believe in democracy?" He goes, "Well, of course." I said, "Okay, well, regardless of a president that's in office, that has nothing to do with all of us taking the initiative to vote at a state and local level. That's where those rights come into question. It's not the president." And he got super defensive and angry. I'm like, dude, it has nothing to do with your destructive sort of, this is wrong because this person. No, this person literally sent all the rights back to the state so states could vote on it. And if you don't think that's right, then I'm sorry. I'll tell you, anybody that's even listening right now, you don't believe in democracy, because democracy is, and yes, we're a democratic republic. I get that. And it's representative democracy because we have a electoral college. However, it comes down to how you vote in your local elections. If you don't like what's happening, let's stop throwing it all on a president, even Biden, even Kamala Harris, even Trump. It's, are you participating in your local government? Because that's where the laws that are affecting what's happening in your state matter. It's not, is this president in or out?
Polls for presidential. I'm curious what the polls look like.
I would say do polls and then do Polymarket.
Polls and then Polymarket. So here I can type it in. How do you do it? Polymarket? I don't know. I haven't used that site.
P-O-L-Y.
Oh, here it is right here. So, honestly, our future is actually really dependent on who we vote for. You know, I don't know if I can trust the polls 100%, but I would say our future truly depends on who we vote for. And it's actually probably, in my opinion, the most important presidential election. And also the Congress, you know, any representatives right now is so critical. I just encourage, please go out and cast your vote for what you believe in, but also don't just vote because you've been told to vote for somebody. Do at least a little bit of due diligence. I highly, highly encourage, and you'll want to, you know, look into the things that are impacting your life. What are their policies that impact your lives and the people around your lives? And make the best decision for you. You know, nobody can tell you who to vote for, but at the end of the day, I think that this is ridiculous. 77, 22% popularity vote. So, I mean, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I actually lean more on the liberal side, I guess, but I like what makes the most sense for our economy, and for me, you know, for our family. So, Jumpman, was in the chat earlier. I think he still is, and he really did bring to light to me saying, "Hey, man, we do have to encourage people to go out there and vote." And he's right. You know, I kept at bay not talking about voting for a while because I didn't want to get politics involved. You know,
I have to respond to this. Crypto Tutu, I appreciate your comment, but ask yourself. I agree. I agree with that sentiment, but ask yourself, how can 34 counts be brought? Fine. And what makes those counts a felony is another crime that it's attached to the same case. And they will never, and they have never, and they will never, and every time it's asked, is not identified what the other crime is. That crime was literally manufactured as a part of the case, specifically to make the other counts be a felony. And if you don't agree with that,
Here, I want just keep talking for a second.
no, but if you don't agree with that, I'm not going to debate it. I'm just saying, look into it. Say, okay, search Trump, 34 counts, felony. What were all the charges? There's no way, nobody has ever figured out what that other charge is. It literally was created so that other charge would be a felony creating uh, count. It had nothing to do with legitimacy. Grant Cardone, by the way, one of the biggest real estate developers in the country. Some people say, well, what about all the malfeasance Trump had with misrepresenting the property values, so on and so forth? Well, okay, let's talk about that. In order to sell a property, you cannot value it by law. You have to have a third party come in, do a third party appraisal that's verified and sanctioned by the state government that property is being sold in. And so that the arbiter, the person that's designating the value, is not part of the company, so it has nothing to do with Trump. And so therefore, like for instance, Grant Cardone, again, one of the biggest real estate developers in the country, he's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then this means they're actually condemning the entire real estate industry of the United States. And these are the things people don't realize. It's a lot of the things you're seeing are sculpted narratives that, and again, I voted for Biden last cycle. I'm so in crypto. No, but I voted for Biden last election because I was on that same narrative. I was like, oh, Trump is so bad for the world. And I didn't realize until after COVID and, through all that I had this sheep's clothing, just wool pulled over my eyes of this algorithmic, everything's bad, fact by fact by fact by fact by fact, what we think are facts. And then I realized later, I was like, fuck, man, none of these have been facts. This is Russian collusion, completely manufactured. Zuckerberg censoring, being pushed by the White House, the Democratic White House. I don't even know what to say. It's very hard.
So I wanted to just play this, I think.
Yeah, 1 second. We have to let the website load. 1 second, guys and gals.
Add the audio. How do I do that?
There you go.
How do I add my audio to this?
Like a screen share?
Yeah, it's like somewhere. Does it share the audio from my?
It should.
Yeah, okay, here. So let's try this.
She's so smart. She's so clever.
Send me the link.
Yeah, here.
1 second, guys.
I'll post it on
Send it to me on Twitter.
I'll stop my stream.
Man, internet is. We're probably super laggy. Dan A., here's the deal. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Ready for the day of two fresh presidential candidates. I agree with you, like, beyond that. That's what we all want. But when you have to pick between the path we're on and an adjustment, I think the adjustment is called for. One second. I'm trying to get this to load.
So, K-Jam, bro, homie, he took your trade, actually, the same Bitcoin trade that you made, except I think he did half leverage. He did half leverage. Are you still in, K-Jam? He said, don't talk politics. You're on the tube. You know that I think politics needs to be talked about. Unfortunately, we're in like a phase of lifetime that people don't want to talk about difficult topics. They need to be talked about. They have to be talked about. And who's going to talk about it? You know, somebody's got to talk about it. You know, we're not saying anything good or bad necessarily. We're just trying to raise awareness. And I'm not here to try to influence you in any other way, except maybe this reel that's going to show up is going to show probably. I think it is if it is what I think it is. Just type in oh, let's see your Facebook. Let's see what it is. Hold on. I mean, this is the. I mean, and you could probably see something. I'm sure they put together compilations of Trump as well, but cringe. It was it's like a compilation type of thing. Awkward. Well, no, it was just something that she really did. She was straight up lying, dude. Saying one thing here, like, okay, no, it's on there. There's no audio coming through. Share your go to your stream. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Please hold. It's so bad, bro. Here, I can stop. Here, let me. I'll get off, so I'll stop the. I logged off of this stream, so is it showing? Is it doing it? What the heck happened?
And let me just tell you, I love Gen Z. I don't know if something, I love Gen Z. So, okay, for the older adults, this is going to be a humbling thing I'm about to share with you. If someone is 18 years old today, they were born in 2005. Oh, yeah, check that out. What? Think about that for a minute. Dave.
Hold on, I'm thinking about it. Can we use calculators? Sorry, yeah. No. I thought about it. The math is correct. Yes.
I'm still checking.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Yeah.
She is hilarious. What a
That's unbelievable.
strange figure in our politics.
What a strange figure. So like her attempted profundities always get to me. I love them. That one she was, oh, this is gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. But she actually took a shot at being a little bit more profound in celebration of MLK. I had her at this event in Columbia, South Carolina, and she busted out like her favorite line. It's the most absurd. She says it all the time. You would think her speechwriters would say, Madam, you've said that too many times. Nobody knows what the F you're talking about. But she keeps saying it over and over in SOT 16. Listen for yourself.
Today, we celebrate the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a visionary who saw what could be unburdened by what had been.
Oh, no.
Ah, cringe. I'll just take you back, and then I'll give it to you guys, but just
be unburdened by what has been. What we can see, what we believe can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been.
Is she done? The RNC actually put that together. Is she done? I can't, like...
There was a Down, scroll down. There you go. So this one, she just... Dude, just watch. This is... Unmute it.
Well, Bubba, these are those moments that we love. Speedy secondhand embarrassment for you coming up. Yeah, yum. Being interviewed on CNN. Bubba being interviewed on CNN.
To be fair, this is the Rick and Bubba show.
Reporter who's just enamored with her, of course. Who does she think the best rapper alive is? Here we go.
And then, best rapper alive.
Tupac.
He's not alive. You said he lives on.
But not a lot. I know. I keep doing that.
You said, listen, West
get
Coast
taken.
girls think Tupac lives on. I'm with you. So Tupac,
I'm trying to
keep
save
going.
it.
I keep doing that.
Yeah,
Since you started hanging out with Joe, is it catchy?
So she was asked who her favorite rapper is alive, right? She says Tupac, okay? Obviously, Tupac's not alive for what we know, and I believe that's the case. So the thing is, pause it. It actually can. sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So actually, they pressed. I don't have the full video. They pressed her and tried to get her to answer at least one rapper. She has these rappers showing up at her events. She's like doing all these things with like, Migos and all of these guys, and she can't name one rapper. And she literally told them to move on. Next question. Like, I don't want to answer that. So it's like totally fronting. You've got somebody saying that they are, they go and act, African American, even though perhaps that is portion of her heritage. But you don't have to go and speak with like, it's just, I don't like the front stuff. Again, it comes down to just being yourself, being upfront and being direct. It's like, why go around talking with, an African American voice and slang and all that, and then go and talk completely different at a rally that's the next day. So these are just things that I don't like, and I personally, this is just my personal thing. That's how I feel. I'd rather see at least somebody that's telling how they feel and what it is to them, how, like, what am I trying to say? Just like literally being fucking real. Like, can we just have that? Like really? You can't just be real? That's crazy, man. I just can't. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm reacting to all that shit.
About Hamas leaders and what they have done. He was very clear on October 7th. He has been very clear multiple times thereafter on what Hamas has done. And they have, it is a heinous murder of what they did recently. And what they did on October 7th and what they, more than 1,200 souls were taken. And then hostages were taken. That's why we're trying to get this deal done, to get people home to their families, including American hostages. And we're continuing to be very, very clear about that. He was asked a question. He answered it directly. But Hamas is responsible. They have more amendment, and he's been over almost...
Have what sounds like a southern accent.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is...
she was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that you
Same
think...
line
Okay, Peter.
that she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a southern drawl.
Do you hear the question that you're... do you think...
Let me address. So, a couple things in the chat. So we've got, Jumpman, definitely shout out to you, bro. OG in the space. And he's right. Trump at least gives a shit about our space. Like, if we want our space to like thrive, and when I say space, I mean crypto in particular, and the economy. I mean, did he print lots of money? Yes, but I don't know if the circumstances would have been different under a different, it was a very weird time. So either way, though, we were all making money with Trump in office, my parents as well, and in the stock market. So, but to go back, at least he's made an effort to come out. Bitcoin Nashville spoke, you know, even if he actually showed his wallets, he's got his people, we've seen his wallets, and the guy's got shitloads, millions of all these Trump tokens, but he's holding. He's got millions of dollars of ETH. You know, I don't know how much Bitcoin, but he's bullish on the entire thing. Yeah, at least he's expressing that. So that's important, right? Harris had the opportunity to show up at Bitcoin 2024, Nashville, and declined. So, you know, and then they said that they're pretty much, let me see if I can find something. They're not going to be, you know, advocating crypto. So let's see. Crypto stance. Let's see. Kamala Harris crypto stance. Tug of war between Dems. Where Harris and Trump stand. Here, I'm going to share my screen if that's okay again. I'm going to click the link. That's cool that you guys are all hanging out. You know, that's awesome. We're just totally vibing right now. I'm joining right now. Chill. All right. Waiting for host. Allow me in.
I don't see it.
Go. There we go. All right, share screen. So entire screen. Boom. Boom. Cool. Where was I at? Okay, so Kamala Harris release. So their stance. Okay, what we know about crypto stance. So the thing is this, is they haven't been clear, but the thing is, if it's not clear, then that's not good at all. They can come out and then just all of a sudden be bullish to try to win votes, but, you know, what are they actually going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they really going to try to push forward, if anything at all, if they do decide to come out somehow and believe that they want to tell us that they're interested in crypto all of a sudden. In talks with Bitcoin Nashville, but this is old stuff, you know. Go ahead.
Watch this.
Tim Walz wants to have. The governor has agreed to a debate on October 28th. You're not thrilled about that.
Esme, you and I both know that that's a sham. Early voting starts in less than 3 weeks. Come on. What's happening is Tim Walz wants to have one debate as late as he can, potentially after 50% of Minnesotans have voted, and say, see, all the major news programs understand that I've had a debate. At this time, 4 years ago, Tim Walz had participated in 4 debates. He's absolutely been shutting them down. He wants to do this one debate so far into, just before Halloween, and you know that he's actually using you to put out his message that I want to debate. He doesn't want.
Oh, look at that. They turned off when he called the truth.
Looks like we lost that feed right there. You were just hearing from Dr. Scott Jensen, and we're going to continue to update you online on this ongoing.
No. No.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
It's just surprising to have such a different personality.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it was, it's one of those things, you know. Anyways, we're talking about politics and stuff, and yeah, people might not like it, but at the end of the day, we're talking about it. So if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. We're just like, we're here. Anybody want to see anything? Here, we're live. We're talking with you. Put in the chat. Say something. What do you guys want to see? We'll do whatever you want. If you want to look at something, you want to cover something, you want to ask questions, we can do a Q&A here. I wish I had access to the stream myself. Let me see. Let me go to the BitLab Academy. Let's see what's up. Someone put something in the chat, and if you want to, whatever, anything, let's talk about it. We're here. I think we're going to go a little longer, so. Crypto Tutu, she's running for president, not a damn DJ. At least she's not claiming people eating dogs and cats.
Well, that's all improving.
Yeah, that's actually, if you don't know, I forget which, it's like North Idaho or Ohio. Yeah, so they're actually people, I guess migrants or whatever, immigrants, illegal, that are actually stealing people's animals, as hard as it is to believe, and actually eating them. I mean, it's I've definitely seen some content that people are talking about it. I haven't fact checked it 100%, but one thing for sure is that is most. There's no reason. I don't think that Trump would just say something so asinine and it be unrealistic. Info about the 50 basis points today. Okay. What in particular do you want to know? We could say a lot. So let's go ahead. I'll bust out my chart. Am I sharing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So is my phone going off? So let me open up the Bitcoin chart and we'll take a look. So there's something I want to show you guys. I wish I could use my mouse, bro. We had the FOMC meeting today. They cut 50 basis points, and you can already see. So this line right here, the red one, is the percentage of interest that is current. They actually slashed 50 basis points, which is 0.5%. So it went from 5.5% down to 5%. So let's scroll back. I'm gonna do total. Let's see what total looks like, and I'll show you something. Total crypto market cap. So let's run back, okay? And I'm going to show you this. It goes to 2000. Okay, yeah, it's got some history.
Tell everybody what the lines are.
So yeah, we're going to first let's start with this. We're going to show this is the total crypto market cap on the 1 week time frame. So I'm actually going to take this and make it a line chart. Okay, I'm going to clear, remove drawings. I'm going to take away the moving averages. Okay, and we'll take away the volume as well. All right, so makes it a little easier to see as we look through this. I'm going to go ahead and add the next line, the first one after the crypto, which is the Federal Reserve interest rates. So we've cut down to 5%. Now, let's take a look at history, right? History, when you look at it, when we cut rates, what happens? It shows that price moves up. When we start pumping rates back up, then crypto tends to fall, all right? Now, rates have been higher, and crypto has been falling. Now, it did pump, of course. We had a pretty big pump, but that is most likely a result of this extended liquidity pump and injection. So I'll tell you what I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is the Fed. All right, is it going to show? Does it show the Fed? Where is it? Am I tripping? Am I showing the same thing?
Mute it again and then turn it back on.
Let me see. It's in purple. Where is it? Let's see. I'll just take it away. Let's add it. Come on, dude. What's going on? Okay. Here. Okay, here we go. So this is the Federal Reserve in purple, and it shows the liquidity, the amount of money that they have in the Fed, right? So back here, rates were going up. You can even backtrack it. rates going up. Again, we went up from 0.5% or less, I think 0.25%. And then what happens? Liquidity is going down. Bitcoin went up a little bit, and then it just kind of went down. But then when the rate cut happened, and I'm just showing you the history. I know this is a long version of your answering your question with the 50 basis points, but I'll get to my point. In history, we've seen, and this is just from 2020, and it was COVID, and it was a very large rate cut. It went from what was it? At this time, it went from 2.5%, I think, back down to 0.25%. It's a very, very large rate cut. But if you notice, when they cut rates, not too long after, what happens? This liquidity, they literally inject money into the Fed and as a result into the economy. And what happens? When the liquidity gets injected, crypto rises. You can also look at it against the stock market. Look, I'll show you. SPX. Which one do I choose? In a second. Index. CFD. I think it's SPX right here. And I think it's index. Let's see. Was it this one? Yeah. So you can see here again, and what's interesting is they do have a short-term dump before the liquidity pump. And I'm going to show you another chart after this. This is the stock market, S&P 500. We get rate cuts, okay? Now, stock market has performed extraordinarily well, just over its lifetime for the most part. But it dumped, and then it really moved significantly following the injection of liquidity. Now, they went from... new all-time. Yeah, take a look. Here, I mean, look at how sharp the move is from like this gradual incline to this. But then look, rates increased again, liquidity's falling, and market tanking, okay? Now, rate cuts happening, maybe there's some talks or whatever happens, stock market, it does move. So it's maybe not the best example, but let's take a look at the M2 global supply. And this is it's gonna load. Is my screen running? Okay, here we go. So let me open this. If you haven't seen this before, let's first take away this and this. This is the top 21 banks in the world that hold, liquidity. All right, the majority of liquidity. It's $107 trillion in liquid assets. Excuse me. So, what happens is Bitcoin follows the injection of liquidity and the decline of liquidity. So white is Bitcoin, and this goes back all the way to 2013, I believe. And the blue is the M2 global supply. Now, this is one thing I wanted to show, is that, and I'll hide this down here so I can see better. So during the COVID era, right? So let's just say from 2019, all right? We moved from 77, 75 trillion. And within a 2 to 3 year period, we went up $25+ trillion, clearing 100 trillion. And that happened in less than, I believe, 3 years, it looks like. Now, think about that, 25 trillion. So how long did it take them to get like 25 trillion over, like, so from here, they were at how much? 59 trillion, okay? So that's 2012, 2013. So what was it? I'm sorry, my brain is mush. 60, 59, 60. So that would be 85. When did we get to 85? Think about how many years it took to even make 20 trillion on top. You're talking, 6, 7 years, right? They made what they would have made in up to 8, 9 years potentially in 2 to 3 years. So imagine this. Imagine you had the ability, and I'm not saying this is why they're doing it, but I would say you have to factor this in. And this is how I take it and perceive it. If they had literally made $25+ trillion in a less than 3-year period, imagine taking your bag that's already enormous and making it 25% plus larger in 2 years. But the last 10 years, you weren't able to do that. So wouldn't you be hungry for more of that? It's almost like I could imagine if you, yeah, I mean, think about it. Why would they not try to do that again? So my thesis or my theory is that they're trying to pump their bags again at a, I think they're going to inject a lot more liquidity than they probably actually should. But I have no idea. I'm not a financial advisor. I am still scraping and learning this macro and really trying to dial it in. But to me, if I made what I could have made in 8 years, I made it in 2.5 years, I would definitely be trying to find a way to do that again, because they want power. And if they put money out into the liquidity, into the ecosystem of the world, eventually that money will become somehow invested. And that's why we see an ever increasing stock market. We see the crypto market over time has increased substantially. So eventually, think about it. You receive your money, whether it's a paycheck, a stimulus check, whatever, and then that money, you go buy something, the business receives that money, whatever happens, eventually down the road, it's going to go and funnel up to the most wealthy and then also get invested in some shape or form. Am I right or wrong? I mean, what do you think on that? As far as the, if you're following me, I think.
Gas on a fire.
Yeah.
It's gas on a fire.
You said gas on fire?
It's gas on a fire.
Gas on a fire, yeah. So, I mean, it's something that I think that, and going back to your 50 basis points, such a tangent, bro. Going back to your 50 basis points. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying that what we're likely to see within the next few months, or possibly by September, October, November, probably, I would say.
Through Q4.
Yeah, through Q4, we are likely to see a liquidity injection. So basically, this line will likely, the purple, will end up making a move to the upside. And what do we see that happens when the liquidity moves to the upside? Right here. This is a perfect example. You saw this go up. You see it's going up all this time. It's a little kind of getting shaky, but what happens? Crypto's going up. As soon as it starts tapering off, it falls. And then it went up right here. You can literally see it went up right here, right? Right in this area. So looking to see what's going to happen. But why do they cut basis points? Why are they cutting interest rates? Well, there's a problem that needs to be fixed. What's the exact problem? I don't know. I haven't looked as far as I can imagine. Debt, all of there's so many financial issues that need to be resolved. And as a result, they cut basis points and then they print. When I say inject liquidity, I'm just talking about printing money or digitally adding money to the ledger. And when they do that, why do they, how is it, can you make sense of that? Adding money, cutting basis points to, why is it that is what they have to do to print the money? Why wouldn't they keep the interest rates high, print the money, and then keep the interest rates high so they can pay back the debt? They keep cutting down the debt, the interest rates, but the debt is still the same price. So they print more money, put us more into debt, and then cut back the interest rate. So to me, it seems counterintuitive. I am not as well versed as someone like Kelly, perhaps. So I bet someone in the chat probably could answer. But I think that it's one of those things that is, how are we looking? Are we still good?
People are freaking out about this clip right here because they're looking for somebody to explain what this actually means and how this actually works. In this video, I'm going to A, play you the clip, then B, explain how it works in simple English. Here we go.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Ooh, so how do we explain that? It's actually really simple. The Federal Reserve creates money out of thin air. This is called printing. They don't actually run a printer. They just change a digit on a spreadsheet. They don't even need to waste paper.
Fake money. Fake.
They create it, and then they lend it to the government. So the money goes from the spreadsheet to the government, who borrows it, so the government can give it to all the people who voted for them. Now, why do we call it borrowing? There's one word that explains all of this. It's to make you believe that the government is actually one day going to pay off their debt. But the reality is, they never will. And instead, what's more likely to happen is people will stop believing. And when people stop believing and their trust goes down, the value of that funny money paper currency goes down. And eventually it goes down to zero. Just like every single fiat currency that has ever existed in the history of the world, they all go to zero. The Ponzi ends when people stop believing.
That's really what sums it all up. I'm going to go through a couple posts I had here, and then we're going to wrap it out.
The government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money.
Hold on. I don't even know what's playing. This guy. Okay, this right here. So, global liquidity. I've talked about this 177 times on this channel. See this blue line? Huge uptick. Look at the price of Bitcoin. Took a second, but this front ran the move up. This is broken into a new all-time high. This is global liquidity, not the M2. This is all the People's Bank of China, Japan, U.S., everything together, we're into a new all-time high. This is moving up. What happens when this moves up? Bitcoin moves up. Now, when we come over here and look at these different charts, give me 1 second. Internet is very slow. This is that level that Matthew was talking about in the short term. However, that's not what I want to show. Here we go. Kevin Svensson. So RSI is right now on the cusp of, look at this downtrend, on the cusp of breaking out. Why does that matter? Let's go back in time. What happened when it broke out? Let's track this up. Boom, up. Look at this massive downtrend on the relative strength. We're not looking at price. We're looking at the relative strength. Rejection, rejection, rejection. When did it break out? This was the start of the move. This is where we're at right now. It doesn't mean we're going to break out in this moment, but we're coming up on that time frame that likely in the very near future, he has October 7th mapped out. What have I been sharing here on BitLab Academy? If we come over here, where is it? Right here, boom. Let's go to Bitcoin. Double click here. Look at this box right here. You see it? Let me zoom out. This is what I've been sharing for, I don't know, 4 months. This zone right here between basically September 15th and October 21st. Where are we at? We're within that window. What is that window? It seems very convoluted, but we have this broadening wedge. But this time zone right here, this block that I have, this has to do with basically, we're actually way beyond. I haven't adjusted this in about 4 or 5 days. Let's zoom in. Let me zoom in here. Let's see. Let's make sure this is right on the day. Boom. So we're 153 days post halving. I've been talking about this 160, 165 day. That's this mark here. That's when we start to see money move up and what Bitcoin move up. And this goes back to what we were talking about with that RSI. I don't know where the chart went. Right here. RSI potentially breaking out in the very near term. Then we come to this next chart and we see what's going on with MACD. MACD coming up, boom, just like I did here, just like, look, right here. Yes, price still moved down for a little bit, but we had strength, we had momentum coming into the move, and then we had the FTX collapse, final capitulation up. But look at this. This was last summer. As summer ended, look, October, boom, then we had the up move when MACD broke out. We've been consolidating into this. This is starting to break out. We're coming into that zone. And then the last thing, let's go. I have a ton of stuff bookmarked. Let me just go right here. Whales have been accumulating. I've been showing that to everybody. MACD, RSI breaking out. Ethereum exchange reserves, 112,000 Ethereum were sent to crypto exchanges. Well, this is that sort of, I don't want to say final capitulation. We're in that fear mode when right before we have that nice move to the upside. So we come back over to the Bitcoin chart. This is that block of time we're looking at, the second half of September. We just entered the second half of September and everything, let me double click here. Nice move to the upside. We're not out of the woods yet. We need to still clear 65, which is that mark Matthew Highland highlighted, but also this downtrend resistance, which if we move this over, it's about 67,000. This is more important than 74. This is a high here. This is a downtrend resistance. Even if we pushed up into this, we need to wait until this breaks out, has some pullback, has a confirmation of bullishness, and then breaks back to the upside. But all signs suggest, yes, there's near-term bearishness that we've all been talking about, sure. But the macro setup, look at this. I mean, look at this is feeling bullish, but we're still within this channel. We need to allow some patience because all those things that we just talked about are suggesting bullishness is just around the corner. We just need to be a little bit more patient. you have anything you want to wrap out with?
I was gonna look at Gary Network for the homie, but I don't think he's here. Disclosure Crypto. But
Ask him.
yeah, Disclosure Crypto. If you're still here, we could run through it real quick. If not, yeah, I just want to say, first of all, Kelly, thanks for having me on the show, bro. Of course, we're just kicking it, and it's been dope, bro. This is a great experience coming out here. And if you haven't, even if you're not, like, you don't have to be an influencer or anything like that, just I encourage you to go to a crypto event, because it really is a great opportunity to learn. You have no idea what you're going to learn or who you're going to meet. So it's just a really cool experience, and Singapore by far blowing it out of the water. So I am super stoked to be here. Can't wait to get back to it today. Probably get some rest here, and you're DJing tonight at Quinn W's event, so that's going to be dope. To all of you out there, if you're struggling, you know where to go. We're here. I'm sure if you have any questions, Kelly will be more than happy to, answer them, help you, join the community, you know what I'm saying, and get involved, because getting involved is really what's going to help take you to the next level. And just talking to other people that are either in your boat or have been in your boat or know what it's like because they've been there and gotten out and succeeded or failed, whatever. At the end of the day, it's important that you get involved. So that being said, that's it. I think it's been a great 3-hour stream. I'm sure that it was not as professional as we're just chilling, but sometimes you got to just do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to just do it. So thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure.
I have your page up to follow you.
Oh, yeah. Where? Oh, okay. Here. Okay. I can't see it.
Just reload that page.
Oh, just reload it?
Command R.
Yeah.
Follow him.
Nice. Follow your boy, Crypto Danks. I was just reading the chat. K-Jam. Yeah, K-Jam's a G, bro. Bitcoin 65 to 67K, then back down. Get some room service. I don't know if they deliver room service. Oh, they do have the breakfast thing, though. So, yeah, I'm on X. Follow me at CryptoDanksX, and obviously on YouTube as well. It'd be a great pleasure to have you, chime in on the conversation. So, thanks, bro.
Love
Appreciate you guys.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.
This has been a BitLab stream from the This is President Biden's, we're putting it in the chat, President Biden's economic advisor that does not understand what money printing is, and he says it outright. I don't understand. But we love you guys. That's all we got. Adios.
Peace.